morning, good morning, good morning. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Hey. Check 1 2 1 2. Time to get up and move your body.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
All right. Radio's the go. Looks like YouTube's up. I wonder if Facebook's working. Your mic check, buddy.
Let us know. Check 1 2. This thing on.
Hey. 85 North.
We live at 85, big boss.
We live.
Hey.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thanks for joining us on this Monday, October 16, 2023. This is First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd. You know what it is. Chat, chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners, everybody in Omaha, basically. Everybody everywhere. How about that?
Yeah,
Thanks
all
for
at
joining
once.
us. All at once. Appreciate everybody getting up on this early Monday morning with us. We already got people in the chat. Chimer is up early this morning. She says, good morning, y'all. She says, I listened to the mix this morning. I really enjoyed that. Oh,
Okay.
6:30 Club. Okay.
Feeling the vibes.
Appreciate you very much. I appreciate the co-sign on the mix. So that's what's up. Yeah, man. Don't forget, it's a 24/7 channel over there. We're adding stuff as we go.
Yeah, man.
And building that out as well. So you can ask your Amazon Alexa to say, Alexa, play First Sky Omaha Radio. And Alexa will say, you are now getting down with First Sky Omaha.
Well, get on down. Get on down. Yeah.
Tamika Johnson, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, is it the 6:30 Club or is it Club 6:30?
6:30 Club. 6:30
Oh, okay,
Club.
okay.
Yeah, that's what it's been. Guess we can find a better name for it. But the crew that gets up at 6:30 to listen to the mix, appreciate that. Tamika Johnson gives us some sunshine today. It's supposed to warm up a little bit today. It was a little chilly yesterday. So
man, it's been kind of chilly all weekend, actually.
Dude, yeah, I don't know what this weather's doing. Amy H. No Dot says, happy Monday. Good morning.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you coming on in. I heard you guys are hiring over there. I saw a notice somewhere somebody put it on Friends of First Sky Omaha, so we'll talk about that a little later on. Appreciate all the work you guys are doing there. Heart Ministries in the house.
Yeah, getting down.
Yeah. Leia Keister says, happy marvelous Monday.
Hey.
So glad she don't give us the tongue twisters on Monday, because
man,
I don't know if I can handle it.
Still a little brain fog from the weekend.
That's right. Pops is back. Pops says, good Monday morning, First Sky, and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you. Appreciate you very much.
How's it going?
And my Mark Manners in the house. Good morning. Good morning to you too, bro. Appreciate you coming on in. You posted something the other day on Wendy and Lisa playing Mountains over at the Hollywood Bowl. Had a brother tearing up, man. I was like, man, it's a trip. It's a trip. So I had to go down the rabbit hole, list of all the reasons why it hit me in the feels. All kinds of reasons. My grandfather used to make it a family tradition to go check out the Playboy Jazz Festival at the Hollywood Bowl every year. So just the spot, the area, the song, man, the song coming out in my formative years of just understanding things, the chord changes, the words on the song. It was like it took me back to a time when I really, really believed in the power of, all you gotta do is love and believe and you can conquer everything.
Man.
And then just seeing Wendy and Lisa up there singing the Prince song. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot to it. Just the friends of mine that people in the '70s and everything was started with by a bunch of people just getting together, looking for bootleg Prince albums and stuff like that. So it just kind of took me back to them days, man. And it was a trip to feel that, to hear that, and see that. So good looking
Yeah,
out on
yeah.
posting that.
Man, been kind of over the years of our friendship and relationship, just kind of learning about what you now call the purple fam,
Yeah,
the purple peeps, as I like to call them.
big
Yeah,
time.
it's a beautiful thing, man, to see that community that you build. And yeah, yeah. Shout out to Mark Manor. Shout out.
Yeah, man. Mark Manor, definitely Purple fan. He's in the whole story of the people in
Yeah.
the sevens for
I mean, you
sure,
see his
man.
M is purple in the chat.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. He does his new vlog right now where he's doing music reviews and stuff like that. What tell me what the name of that piece is again, man, so people can check
Yeah,
that out. But it's because of the fact that this cat has been a staple in knowing what's going on with Prince and the Minneapolis sound, and being the person that was the buyer for the bootlegs, CDs and stuff back in the day that we used to go crazy over. And to this day, man, I trust what he got to say about music because learning about his taste from back in the day. So it's just interesting. Like even music reputation comes from from just like vibing on the same stuff
oh yeah.
and having. Yeah, it's really a trip how much music bonds people, man. Just
Come on, man. Universal language.
right, right,
Universal language.
big time, big time. So you can see where our head is at on this Monday, October 16th.
Yeah.
Definitely so much going on in the world, man, that you got to kind of break away and just try to get try to find your joy and your passion somewhere. So we definitely got lots to talk about. Lots of special guests coming on today as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, this is Monday, so brothers Senators Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne will be on, but also brother Qasim and brother Sherman Wells will be on as well. So
Man.
brother Qasim Shabazz. So we gotta talk a little bit about what just happened over the weekend. Powerful.
So you posted up, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, had to definitely go check that out. Represent. Chimer can tell you she was there. There was a couple moments in that mug right there, had everybody on the verge of tears, bro.
Okay. Okay.
So just this the young folks that was there that needed to hear that, the good turnout, man. Smoking Doja brought food. I mean,
Okay.
it was a thing. It was a thing.
Yeah, sound like it. Sound like it. I do also want to give a shout out to the brothers of Omega Sci-Fi. It looks like Marlon Harrison was at an event at Central Park. The Project Manhood launched for the younger folks. I'm guessing the event that the BAA had was kind of more so young teens, preteens, kind of older teens. Looks like this event that the Omega Sci-Fi had was younger children, like elementary school age. But it's never too early to get in touch of them. It's never too early to get some real manhood in front of these children. So yeah, big shout out to all the men in the community trying to touch the youth in a positive way and change your lives, man.
There you go, man. Men's Monday today here on
Hey, 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 got the men's coming on.
Junior brother Sanchez, Mayor Sanchez says, watch the PBS special David Glasser, the Kennedy Honors jamming. All right, I had to look it up, man. Check it
Okay.
out, see what's going on. Marlon Harrison in the chat, you just spoke on him. He said, I miss when my mom used to get the bootleg CDs and DVDs from the beauty shop. Yeah, man.
Okay.
That was part of the thing. These young cats don't know nothing about having to go search out for music for
Man,
physical
man.
copies and stuff.
Oh yeah. Homers, Leolas. I was kind of thinking about it though. Just kind of side note. I feel like a lot of that stuff is gonna come back, especially like with um was it Facebook or Google's new glasses that they coming out, the Meta glasses that they have coming out. I'm thinking there's gonna be some cross between the AI virtual internet world and the physical world. I would like to see more, living alive together.
We always gonna want physical copies of stuff.
Man.
It goes from the everyday use to the collector's use, back to the everyday use. Ask
Mm-hmm.
Mark Man
Mm-hmm.
about records. You know what I'm saying? Like Homer's been holding it down all this time, and they still sell records there regularly.
Man. Man.
So
Rest in peace to Leolas.
there you go. And all the other ones, Tower Records for me out in
Man.
Hollywood. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Just lots going on. I mean, I think the reason why we on this tip right now too is because we were just talking before the show about what's going on in the Middle East, man. And
Man.
I mean, there's just so much happening in the world all the time, and then we bring it down hyper local. What's going on here in Omaha, and stuff like that. We had some pretty bad weekends this last few weekends with violence and stuff like that. But this past weekend, like you said, a couple of good events that happened that felt like some hope.
Hmm.
Definitely, a young man stood up at the gang intervention meeting with the brothers and expressed himself. And man, whole place cheered and applause just for the young brother standing up. We'll talk more about it when they get on, but
Definitely,
definitely
definitely.
definitely some moments of hope and realizing what kind of work these brothers are doing, and that there was something. So any young brother that wants to reach out, they got something for them. That's the biggest part. That's the biggest part. When they ready, brother Qasim and brother Wells got something for them to do. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
that's the important part.
Yep, yep.
Definitely.
Mira Sanchez says, me too short at Leola's. Met too short at Leola's. Is that right?
Okay. Okay, man. Short at Leola's.
Short dog in the house.
Man.
Kimmer Snipes says, my son and I were talking about biblical prophecy this morning. The topic ain't for everybody, but it's still a topic.
Hey,
Getting,
Cameron.
getting into some deep discussion right there. That's what's up.
Yeah, yeah. Prophecies are coming true, whether you believe them or not. It doesn't. Truth doesn't rely on your belief in it. I'll just leave it there.
Man, you ain't lying. You ain't lying about that. We'll definitely talk about that. I don't know how much the chat chimers. I don't know how much people want to get into it because we know that it's a hot topic, especially what's
Hmm.
going on in the Middle East. But I think it's on our radars, and it's very much a discussion. I was checking out
Yeah,
some Democracy Now episodes, and they were talking about this language that they're using. Man, it's like it's like genocide language, brother. Dehumanizing folks. This is a messed up situation, and it's gonna get worse. And so that's what's up.
hmm
Kimber says that's why I'm saying I know the topic ain't for everybody. I respect that. Yeah, but
yeah,
it's there's no way that we're gonna be able to pass by what is looking like is going to happen here, um, and just act like it ain't because it's
right.
too big of a thing. It's too
And
big of a thing.
let's not act like the United States and our tax dollars ain't funding some of it.
Come on, man. Our tax dollars is going right to sending war machines over to the Middle East right now
Right.
to participate in what could be a genocide.
Yeah, we're
You don't
still
think you
fighting
don't
for
think
what we need.
you don't think we need to talk about that? Big time, man. So that, and of course, like I said, we're gonna jump into some hyper local topics as well. Things that are affecting us here in the neighborhoods in Omaha, Nebraska,
Yeah,
especially,
man.
but how it ties into the rest of the world. What are some of the other topics we're gonna talk about here before we get going?
Yeah, yeah. Also recently happening some arts changes, some openings actually. A big shout out again to the Union for Contemporary Arts opening the Shirley Tyree Theater. So we'll
Yeah,
kind of talk about that. Definitely a couple of the fam of Vital Vital was out there. A big shout out to the Murray family. Not only was she there, but her brother was there with some art. Also, our partners over at they just broke the ground for a new Center of Arts and Engagement. So uh, again, as two artists, we're always going to acknowledge and talk big supporters of art. So especially when things like when we're talking about war and things, man, art, music can definitely help express some things that can't be expressed in words in times like these. So yeah, that also. Local doctor is claiming there's a better chance to stop viruses getting out of control this season as we approach flu season. COVID numbers still showing up. Definitely going to talk about that. I saw Miss Erica Felt. Big shout out to you posting about getting vaccinated and kind of pushing that. So yeah, we'll
yeah.
talk about
Chat
that.
Timer on the news.
Yeah. Boots to the roots, getting out there. So that's what it's all about. Also, we are approaching voting season. And of course, ID, a big issue in the voting process. Again, the law was passed just last session, and we're still having a lot of questions about how this will impact how we can vote. What are the details surrounding the whole voter ID situation? Something maybe we can get into with the senators a little later on in the show. And then also, this is something that caught my attention over the weekend. A report of the Latino community coming together. This is reported by KETV. The headline reads: "Find our power. Latino community wants their voices heard." Looks like there's some unity coming together through organizations like Elevate and other community organizations. And of course, we always got to ask the question: what types of efforts like that are happening in North Omaha? So Yeah, we'll definitely dive into that. And as always, if there's anything on your hearts and minds that we're not discussing or haven't brought up and feel like we should be talking about, definitely let us know. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Chime in to the chat. In the meantime, in between time, about 15 minutes into the hour, Paul B,
Yo, yo.
let's start the show.
Better Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thanks for joining us on this First Sky Omaha radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B. the Dove, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners, thanks for joining us on this Monday, October 16th, 2023. Definitely got
Hey.
special guests coming on in today. Of course, Brother Senators Terrell, McKinney, and Justin Wayne will be on. And then also Brother Qasim, Shabazz, and Brother Sherman Wells will be on as well.
Man.
So long, packed, jam-packed day full of guests talking about what's going on here with us in our cities, in our city, in our sides of town, and all those good things. And of course, we also have a lot of good articles to discuss and jump into as well. Kind of a slow news day, a little bit, but that gives us a chance to kind of deep dive into some of the things that we need to dive into hyper local and all that good stuff. Kimber Snipes says, get Shaw on for the Nebraska table to talk about voter ID. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. She also says she went down to the theater talking about the Shirley Tyree opening. It's beautiful inside to me, the parts that I saw. Yeah, I'm surprised how fast they got the rest of that done.
Yeah.
Last we checked in on it, the front wall had fell and all kinds of stuff was going on. So they sped that process up and got that thing open in no time flat. So can't wait to get over there and check it out. And shout out to the Tyree family for getting that honor. That's going to be major. So shout out to Bridget over there, Unique for Contemporary Art as well. Lots going on, man. You know, we were hoping that we were working with Brother Beasley and on doing some classes and doing some things over at the Benson Theater before he passed away. And he also told us that he had plans on trying to do some stuff over there at the Shirley Tyree Theater as well when it happened. Putting on some plays, doing some August Wilson stuff.
Okay.
So just reminded me about that we lost a treasure when that brother passed. So
Definitely.
we hope that somebody will pick up the mantle and keep the arts alive there at the theater over there, and the theaters all around for sure. So appreciate you very much. Miss Erica Fell says, good morning, just jumping on, but it started at the beginning. I can't get to go live. I also learned this weekend that none of the comments stay here on YouTube which is weird. Maybe I don't know what's going on with that. There may be something I could do on the back end. I see the comments, so maybe there's like some kind of switch that makes the comments public again or something. I'll have to go look. So
Possible. Like hitting comments or something.
yeah, thanks for letting us know about that. She says I'm going to Facebook. So it looks like Facebook is working. Do us a favor, share the show if you're on Facebook, or if you're on YouTube. Do us a favor, put the show on your page as well. We can get as many people talking in as possible.
Man.
And share it. Tell a friend. Share it with people who you think would benefit from this conversation and can add to it. Appreciate it.
Definitely tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, Mama God in the chat saying good morning, First Sky. Definitely want to give a shout out and we kind of talked about it on the phone, but again, proud of you, Mama God. Proud. She again was at the neighborhood association clean up over the weekend, getting boots to the roots as we've been asking. So big shout out to Mama God and anybody else who has been hearing our call and answered it and joined your neighborhood association, especially ahead of election season. Again, we got to organize. Come on now, we got to organize, y'all, and it begins with the neighborhood associations. Recognize what are the issues to your immediate surrounding area, and then go, expand from there. So big shout out to Mama God and everybody else putting boots to the roots, y'all. Let's do it.
Shout out to the Latino community in South Omaha too, trying to put some unity together and speaking up on some things. Kind of want to see what their tactics are. Did they start with the neighborhoods? Where do they start? be interesting to jump into that article and find out if you don't mind. I kind of want to hear about that. Make
Yeah, yeah. This is kind of very interesting. Again, I was explaining to Paul that even though I'm down here in Atlanta, as you see with the show, as you know, the nature of this, I try to stay as much tapped in as I can. So I still get the news. I still watch the news after the football game. The news came on, and one of the first stories was Latino community wants their voices heard, and I'm like, that's very interesting. This reported by KETV. Apparently, organizations like Elevate and other community organizers hosted a community forum to discuss needs and find common ground within the Latino community. There's a renewed effort to raise Latino voices and fight for representation in Omaha and beyond. Community organizers say they're bringing people together through forums in an effort to start a movement. It comes after the recent city council decision. So, again, city council, man, sounds like they made the wrong people angry to support Ron Hug to District 4 seat. Some community members feel they're not being represented. Former city council candidate Eric Servalin, excuse me if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, helped organize Saturday's forum along with the organization Elevate. He said the goal is to educate people and create unity. Looking at a room full of packed full of about 50 people, Sherman said these community discussions show promise. He went on to say, I was actually very surprised by the turnout today. It's a full house. That speaks to, I think, the hunger there is to build power. Many community members in the audience said coming together is the first step to seeing real change in Omaha and across the state.
Mm.
So, yeah, very, very interesting. Of course, this is, again, a response to the latest replacement for Vinny Palermo after that controversial end to his stint in city council. And now they're apparently in the Latino community looking for representation, man. According to a 2019 OLAS report, the Latino and Hispanic population spent about $1.8 billion in Nebraska. Their labor generated over $16 billion in production across the state and over $5 billion in Omaha alone. Marissa Valacio, who's an advocacy organizer with Elevate, said it's also showing the community there's power in numbers.
Mm. There you go. Lots to pull apart for this for me.
Yeah,
It's
man.
really just interesting in general. They don't feel like they are being represented the right way, so that spurred them to speak up, and it just makes me think like, can you we've been so used to other people representing the black community. It might not even occur to black folks to speak up when they don't feel like there's somebody who's representing us in the same kind of way that the Latino community does. Chimer Snipes in the chat. I knew she was gonna have something to say
Oh,
about
yeah.
this. Said this is because Eric Servalin, yeah, now I'm saying it wrong, wasn't picked. And Eric, she said Eric is cool, but he only showed up to the meetings when he was running for office, like they all do.
Mhm.
But at least they are showing up for their people, I guess. So that's what I'm thinking about. Can you imagine if they were like, we need somebody representing the black community that's black, and then some white man gets the job, and then black people decide they're gonna organize and chime up about that because they're mad about it. I mean, like, it doesn't even it makes me go, man, do we even think in those terms? We so used to white people representing our neighborhoods that we ain't even really chiming up in the same kind of way.
Mhm.
There's a lot that I'm kind of pulling out from this situation too. Plus, we have Kimber Snipes on all the time, and we have she's part of this show and tells us all the time that there's more people in the South Side community than just the Latino population out there. But they seem to be able to speak up, organize, find their voice, and those are the words that are the words that I look for. Those are the things
Mhm.
that make me go, oh, okay. So becoming organized, becoming of one voice, in order for the overall voice to be heard, is the tactic we all know about, but not a lot of our communities do. Kimber says, can we just show up for good candidates? It's a good question. Mayor Sanchez says Americans couldn't survive without immigrant labor, taxes.
Come on, man.
Tony Johnson said Omaha Latinos got representation on multiple voicing for more. They're not down with bobbleheads. Applaud that.
Mhm.
There you go. Mama God says, what do I do to comment on YouTube? Try it again this morning. We'll
Hmm.
have to look into that, see what's going on
Yeah.
with the YouTube
I actually
situation.
came across an app that, just side note, that allows you to like video record, how to videos on how to do stuff like that. So might need to
Mhm.
put something like that together for y'all.
Kimber Snipes says, I was going to run for Tony Vargas' seat. I've been an elected official for South Omaha. They went and still recruited someone from a different city to run for that seat. And we know a lot of that reason for that is because they want somebody from the Latino community to run to be the leader of the Latino community. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
so it's interesting how the different mindsets on what it takes in order for people to decide that this is unacceptable. We have to organize, get together, and make some change here so we can be represented the right way. Lessons here, and all kinds of other thoughts coming from this. She says the way this conversation goes is it's as if so, I don't belong to this community. Right. She's a person over there who is in that community who in the way that it looks from the outside is always like this South Side is where all the Latino people live. Which
Mm-hmm.
first of all, it's not true for any side.
No,
Second of
no,
all,
it's not.
if there's a lot of people there, if there's a lot of people in that community that is there, then I can also understand why they feel like they want to be represented that way. They have specific needs that they think need to be addressed in the same way that we do. And so what can we take from that where we can be organized that way and have a bigger voice? Kimber says the way this conversation. Oh, she says, and to be quite frank, I'm over it. Which part are you over? Are
Yeah,
you over not feeling like you're being pushed out of the South Side community? Is that how that feels to you, Miss Erica Felton?
that's the sense I get from a lot of her comments.
Yeah,
But yeah, definitely let us know.
and really like in this group, we hear from her about this. I haven't really talked to anybody else out there that feels that with it that I've heard say that or express that. She says, "I said what I said. Love y'all though. Appreciate it." Yeah. It's just it's I can understand groups of people that want to be represented, but also like there should be some unity. I like what Kimmer is saying. Like just vote for the better candidate. It doesn't always have to be. If there's some unity there, especially if you're building it from the community level, then you should be able to know and trust the people who are out there trying to be a good candidate for everybody there. It's not just we got to have somebody that is Latino to fill this seat for just Latino sake. Although that community does kind of feel like they look out for each other a little bit more than other communities do.
And that's kind of was my point. Not necessarily about who represents what in South Omaha, or what South Omaha representation should look like. But more so, I mean, let's just be honest. Like this whole 1024 situation, North Omaha, like we're getting it. We're hearing it. North Omaha is not organized. We're not. And I called it in the beginning, and I've not been proven wrong. A lot of people are going to cut off their face despite their nose. Like it's not coming together. It's not.
Right. Yeah, it's true. It's true. We definitely, as we talk to more people and understand what's going on with these processes, we are understanding like just how. I mean, this has been a learning experience to me to figure out to find out how disjointed the Black community has been. This we used to talk about this back in the Mind and Soul days when we were feeling like there was philanthropy money out there for nonprofits that were, small amounts, 20,000 up to
Mm-hmm.
100,000, and we always felt like they kind of made you scrap over that. Everybody was kind of fighting for that little $20,000 check or whatever here and there. And so so then I don't know why I didn't think it was going to be 10 times worse when $400 million was going to come into North. You know what I'm saying? Like now
Mm-hmm.
hundreds of millions of dollars is coming in, and you talking about people fighting over who's going to get it now. So, but I still was surprised. I still sat in rooms with black leaders, like, you know, I was still shocked. I was just really shocked. It was an experience to understand just how disjointed everybody was, and
Mm-hmm.
and really, like you said, they cut off their nose to spite their face. A lot of people was even out just saying, well, if we're not gonna get this money, we gonna go complain and not let nobody else get it either. Like out, like straight up, they shouldn't have it either. Like the
Man, a lot of that. A lot of that.
really showed me like what was going on.
Like if I don't get what I want, the whole shit needs to go
Yeah,
down.
like straight up, just saying it out loud to us, out loud to folks in meetings.
Right.
Kimber Stein says, "I'm over feeling like I'm not wanted in leadership positions in South Omaha. Yeah, I can feel like it would be a big, it would be a serious fight."
Mhm.
Ms. Eric Fell says, "Omaha complains about being segregated and then effectively enforces it socially. It's something I'll never get used to here." Most deaf.
Um, I- do we want to get into that
In what way?
as far as segregation, and just the feelings of it? Um, Personally, I don't believe culture is having a epicenter is a bad thing.
Mm,
I don't. I think it's a good thing that I can think, oh, where can I go to experience a different culture? Where's an epicenter that I can go,
mm.
you know, to go and then experience the culture and experience their neighborhoods and come back. Like I don't think there's anything. There's everybody has one except for us. I think the problem is as far as acceptance. I think the problem is as far as honoring different cultures. I don't have any problem with certain people in different cultures having, a predominant epicenter of their culture. And then we should be able to share that culture together. Like that's my view. Cause I historically I feel like we could have benefited from segregation had we kept and maintained our own communities as far as African
Well, we
American.
did up until the late '70s. So, all the stories I hear from Great Gramps and the people that was around that time, because of the fact that everybody was in one specific space, that's what, and they had everything they needed there. They everybody was able to thrive. A lot of people were able to thrive economically, and
Mm-hmm.
things weren't as bad. So, yeah, I definitely I hear what you're saying on that. Um, but I do think there though that there's when you get to the when you start getting into situations where you feel like you are not allowed to go to other sides of town, or
Mm-hmm. That's a problem. That's a
and
problem.
not just that, there was a concerted effort to bus people elsewhere, to to take down public housing and put it out west. There was all kinds of things that was put in place in order to kind of spread out. We talk about it all the time. We want to say North Omaha is the black community, but it's not so much the black community. Black community is spread out all over Omaha. And as a matter of fact,
Mm-hmm.
there's a whole lot of white folks and refugee people and all kinds of different people in North Omaha. It's not just the neighborhoods. Now we still call the epicenter of 24th and Lake the historical district of North Omaha for black folks.
Right.
Every
Right.
time there's a Native Omaha Day situation, you can see that we do have a side of town. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, that's kind of what the situation is. Where's the representation and where can the organization come from? If that's the case, and it's not just a space, a area thing, but also like in your mind, where you at? Which community are you for? You know what I'm saying? How are
Mm-hmm.
you expressing yourself in your own community? Is what I meant on that. Kimmer Snipe says, "I went to my first neighborhood association meeting in my current neighborhood, and I was told I wasn't even in South Omaha. It was the most unwelcome in space I've been in a very long time. It was the most unwelcome in space I've been in a very long time. Wow." She says, "That was a
Mm.
topic of conversation in the meeting I was at Saturday morning. The funding I told you about is a little bit, yeah." Um, and there's no, and Tony Johnson said, and there's no black agenda, never has been. Kimber says, vetted Jeffrey led the meeting. Terrell was there. He can't talk about it this morning. He can talk about it
Okay.
this morning. Okay,
Okay.
we'll talk about that meeting for sure. She says,
So she took hella notes.
yeah. So we'll try not living in the epicenter of your people. Maybe that's my problem and the message they trying to send. Yeah, Southside telling you to go move north. This goes to this stuff that Miss Erica Phelps talking about. Is about this kind of separation in the mind. The way that we think about segregating ourselves or whatever the deal is. Instead of just like being neighbors. We're
Mm-hmm.
encouraging this neighborhood association thing, and that's the whole point. Because you don't have people who look like you all the time living around you.
Mm-hmm.
What we have is all different, all different kind, and we're supposed to be trying to work with everybody around us, especially if it's in an area. So who are we working with? Mr. Eric says, "I agree with that, buddy, but there is also social enforced segregation. That's true too. Yeah. Circumfeld says everything isn't available in these epicenters, though. I could get the house anywhere, but where I'm at. I couldn't get this house anywhere but where I'm at. Okay, yeah, got
Okay.
you.
Okay. I understand that.
Yeah, not just the house, but the resources. We always got to go outside of our neighborhood for all resources. So that's the thing too. Kimmer Snipes says I also don't have a problem with epicenters, so I don't need anyone saying I do.
Yeah, we understand that. We understand. I definitely understand your gripe, Kimmer, as far as you know. You should still be welcomed in whatever community you happen to live
Oh,
in.
we all should be.
Right. 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 Right.
Marianne Williams says good morning. Good morning to you. Says the flip side of segregation, gentrification seems to be a bigger issue economically and
In
in
schools.
schools. Right. Um. Yeah. That's. I mean, we can't have that conversation about epicenters without talking about gentrification, especially in the black and brown communities.
Mm-hmm.
Kimmer says, and Latino population in North Omaha is significantly rising. Very true. And
Yep.
South Omaha goes to change every 30 or 40 years. Okay. Tony Johnson says most so-called black leaders not even living in North Omaha.
Man. And again, that's just to round it back to the article, and my point for it kind of pulling my attention and bringing it to this platform. As far as we talked about here and on the show several times about putting together, even us putting together a forum of black leaders. Like where is that's really the question.
Hmm.
Regardless of how you feel the demographic of South Omaha should or shouldn't be, or what the reality is, groups of people are coming together to create a cohesive plan and idea, and it's showing progression, and it's clearing paths and making things a lot easier, especially with this 1024 situation. A lot of people are looking, a lot of decision makers in the state are looking at North Omaha like, yeah, we're not helping our own
Yeah.
situation with our lack of unity, and that's the
Yeah,
point.
I heard that directly from people that have talked to the mayor, to the governor directly. The governor's already like, this is messy. I don't know about this. Yeah, and it's
And
because they're getting bombarded by different groups complaining.
from North Omaha.
Yeah, from North Omaha, but different black groups, different black businesses. There's really no unity there, and that's really gonna shoot everybody in the foot on that one. So the more we talk, the more we are talking to these folks, the more we're understanding about what it's looking like, when the process is looking like. I mean, I can attest to it too. Like I said, I've sat in several meetings where I'm just like, "Are you kidding me right now? This is probably not the good idea to go this direction, y'all. We probably need to get together with these other groups and maybe try to go
Come together.
first of all, find out what's happening. This action is really interesting to me, like action taking, because Black Omaha will not take no action on stuff, or it'll just sit on stuff for a long time until something comes up, and then they want to act before they get the information. I've seen this happen so many times. Like, all right, y'all feeling fired up now? All right, well, let's go find out what's happening first, and then go see what we need to do. It'd be knee jerk reactions instead. It's just
Moving half cocked.
craziness, man. Kimber Snipes says, I had a Latino man from South Omaha tell me it's a bunch of folks not even from South Omaha trying to push me out. Miss Erica Fell says, coming of age in a black city, Oakland, people from all over the world lived everywhere in the city. Yes, there was cultural epicenters, but no pressure to be restricted, granted pre-gentrification.
Mm.
Kimber says that he's a very well known in the Latino community. The person that told her that, she says Veta Jeffrey gave examples of what happened in St. Louis with when all the money started coming in after the riots. Ooh, I'd love to hear about that.
Mm.
Love to hear about that. She says she wants to know who really wants to come together to make sure this works. I want to make sure you are all added to that list. So she was
Please.
telling me about this meeting earlier. She says up here, she says, my bad. I told Paul about the meeting Saturday morning around ARPA. Terrell was there also, mayor's office, others, lots of different groups. This is she came over to the gang intervention or prevention meeting with the BAA and Untamed, and had just come from a meeting earlier where she showed the list of people that was at this meeting for the ARPA funds, and it was struck me how different. It struck me how none of the people on her list was sitting here at the BAA meeting.
Hmm.
They were sitting there for the ARPA meeting, Um,
Ah,
can't definitely want to talk to Brother McKinney, Senator McKinney, when we and get his take on this. But yeah, very interesting, and it just goes to show like where I'm at. I didn't even know about that meeting. It's what could have been more important than the BAA's meeting on Saturday. I'm not even I wasn't even aware there was something else going on. Um, and it's all really it's just like
so if I'm just to be candid, if I'm hearing what you're saying there's individuals in the community that show up for the money but won't show up for the
oh
youth,
man,
won't show up for the real work.
come on man, show up for both. Show up for both.
Because the money's supposed to be going to the real
Funnel some of
work.
that money to the work, right? I don't understand it. Kimber says she says I did not create the list, so I don't need anybody coming for me because the who was on it. That's for the chat. No, you didn't create the list. You just said who was there. That's all. Pop says right. As I was saying last week, there's a financial redlining happening to retain segregation.
Mm,
Right. Rome's review said hit the like button. Kimber says that
yeah,
the may not have known about it. Info doesn't flow well and can't rely on FB. Very true. Kimber
true.
says it was invite only, and again, people may not. Oh, okay,
Have known.
okay. That could so it was invite only. That's interesting. She said I know a bunch of folks who didn't know about the Black Agenda Alliance event. Well, I don't know why they didn't
Okay.
because that was blasted everywhere. But and it wasn't invite. It was not an invite only event. So I don't know. But that's interesting that there's an invite. There was an invite only event when it came to that. They reached out to who they thought was the black leaders. You know what I'm saying? And I
I mean, that's
that,
always a question as
it's
well.
that So anyway, yeah, man. I don't know. Like I said, I think there's a lot. I mean, the moral of the story here and what we're talking about here at 7:42, if you
Mhm.
believe in the concept of time, is that there absolutely has to be some kind of unity and togetherness in order to have a bigger voice, in order to take care of the things that we need to take care of in our communities, wherever and whatever those communities are. And um, don't I don't want this thing to come across like the Latino community got it all together over there.
No.
There's definitely stuff going on there inside and outside the community. That's not they may have an appearance right now of a group of people trying to get together, organize, become one voice, and push some things. And that may be the case. That may be what ends up happening in a better way. But they don't got it all figured out either. But nobody has it all figured out. But the point is that it makes us think about what's going on here in our communities, specifically the black community, the allyship to the black community. Some of it is geographic, but in general, we're kind of spread out all over the place, and we know, and a lot of us have a lot of the similar needs. I come from the whole Fred Hampton way of thinking about Rainbow Coalition, bro. So
Oh
if we
yeah.
all are sharing the same needs, then we all need to get together and speak up on those things. We're talking about organizing, period, not just black
Hmm.
folks, but everybody. We have organizations out here that are organizing just black folks, which we need as well, and then that's why we partner with them too, like the BAA. You know what I'm saying? And so the alliances can come together and the voice can be bigger and there can be more movement and change if people can organize and get together and be of one voice, which is to me the whole reason to look at what's going on in the Latino community as an example. So we'll see. They're going off in the chat big time.
There you go.
But before we get to that chat, we have a special guest that just popped in, waiting in the wings. I think I got a message too. Okay, cool. Okay, let's go ahead and bring on our brother Senator Terrell McKinney coming in the house. Good morning, bro. How you doing, man? Uh oh.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm having some
Hit him
technical
with the fat finger.
glitches. How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. You?
Man, we hanging in there. We just
Man, yes, sir.
on this subject, all hot and passionate about this subject of unity and people getting together and becoming and having a bigger voice. We just read an article about how the Latino community is getting together on that, inspired by who got in that seat. They didn't like it, so Now they're trying to band together and speak up on stuff. And even though we know they don't have it all together either, we just thinking about what we in us in our community, how it is that we can band together as well, find some unity and have a bigger voice. So anyway, that's what we were talking about. So before we jump into how you feeling about that, I just want to ask you personally, like how you doing, how you feeling, what's going on with you, your spirit, how you doing?
Yeah.
I'm doing good. I'm straight, man. Had a decent weekend. Saturday, I went to that meeting Chimer was talking about, and then also we had this. I don't know if I want to call it a reunion or a celebration for the wrestling team at UNO, which was cool.
Okay.
It was good to kind of reconnect with some of the guys I used to wrestle with and coaches and stuff like that. So it was a cool weekend for me.
Good.
Any prospect of bringing that program back, man?
I don't know, man. That's a battle because you can't just because I think the way it works is if you start a men's program, you got to add two women's programs. It's super complicated, because of Title 20 and things like that. So I don't know. It's interesting. I would love to have it back though, because I think when they took away the wrestling team, it created a big void in the city of Omaha as far as kids having options to kind of wrestle and go somewhere to. So I would love to have it, but that's I don't know. This is Nebraska, and UNL matters more than anybody to them more than anybody. So
Mm.
Yeah. That was just a side note, though. Just side note. I know Paul doesn't really care about
No, I
sports.
actually really care about wrestling because my family was heavily involved, and I know how
Really?
big wrestling is in this community. I'm surprised to hear we don't still have the program. To be honest,
Yeah, you didn't know that?
oh,
Yeah. The football and wrestling.
that's crazy.
UNO did away with it a couple years ago, right?
it was 2011. But our wrestling team was the most successful team ever at that school. Literally, like
Yep. Yep.
we were on a three-peat, and they dropped us the same night we won our third straight. So
Wow,
Championship.
it shows how much they care.
wow.
Right. Right.
Yeah, man. My grandfather, my mom's dad was a wrestler.
Wrestling.
That's how they pronounced it back. The wrestling. And I had a cousin, man, that was heavy into it. My cousin Stacy was big time. So yeah, so you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of shocked with the how big wrestling is in Omaha and how successful it. There was stars coming out. There was people that could have been stars coming out of North Omaha wrestling.
Come on,
Bro.
man. Come on, man.
I
Legends.
mean,
Legends.
Bud Crawford wasn't he part of didn't he get some wrestling training back in the day? He was part of that program too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he used to wrestle at the Emerson Center too.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's his big
Mm.
time, bro. Anybody doing anything huge went through the wrestling program, man.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of like great wrestlers coming out of Omaha North, man. I mean, Senator McKinney, one of them. You know what I mean? V's up, V's up. So yeah, definitely. You know,
Just goes to show you.
side story, side story.
Anyway, man. On the topic of Saturday, because I actually got to get out and come over to the meeting between BAA and Untamed forum that they had there, man. Which, by the way, great turnout.
Man,
Very very poignant moments, like moments that had people almost in tears. Young folks speaking up. Just the notion that if a young folk want to speak up and say he wants some help, that the BAA that people got something for him to do. Powerful, powerful, powerful. I'm looking around though. I'm not seeing the folks that I would expect that would be there, and then I get hip to the idea that there was an ARPA fund meeting earlier that day, that all the quote unquote leaders was at, and now I'm just finding out in the chat that it was a invite only meeting. Um, you know where I'm getting at with this. Tell me what you think about it.
Um, I don't know. I wouldn't call it just a ARPA meeting. It got discussed about money coming, and the community needing to be united to make sure we get the best outcomes. I don't think it's just based in ARPA, but it was definitely discussed. Um, I mean, it was interesting. I got invited. I forgot when, and I went. It was I sat and listened. It wasn't really like a big discussion either, though. Like it was more so Vita Jeffrey talking, and Preston talking. Then at the end, a couple people said some words, but honestly, it wasn't like there was a room full of people having this big discussion about how to move the community. It was more so people listening, and she was kind of giving examples of her experiences in Ferguson and how when you're not united and you got resources coming and things like that, how it could have negative impacts. Well, not negative impacts, but negative outcomes as far as like it doing what we expect it to do.
Mhm.
Also talked about voting and getting behind candidates in the community as well.
Mm.
Uh, so biggest one, she brought up Senator Wayne's position and us not currently there isn't a black person running for that office, which I've heard of people kind of considering it, but nobody has announced. So currently, there's just
Mhm.
one person in the race. So that was discussed. I think overall, it's good to come together and talk. I think, in my opinion, I wish for people went to that gang intervention thing as well. I think it's for some people, from what I've seen working in the community, those type of events are uncomfortable because they don't understand that perspective.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm.
and it's they don't they're not the lead of it necessarily. It's not theirs, so they're not going to go. But I also have felt like people in certain orgs or positions are uncomfortable in those type of discussions, but would get on the news and say they doing gang prevention. But
Mm.
that's what it's been. And I ain't trying to be a divider. I just think
Mhm.
it's a lot of strategies and things that have been happening over the years that have honestly not worked. And we need some strategies that are against the status quo. And we need to be radical about it and be unapologetic about it, in my opinion. I think it's a lot of stuff that's went on over the last couple of years that make me feel like it's a lot of people in the way
Mm.
masquerade,
Gatekeepers.
masquerading as leaders.
Mm.
Mm. Mm. Who organized that meeting? Like who invited you? Like who?
I think Michael Williams. I think he texted me or something like that. Text me, asked
Okay.
me would I come.
Was
Yeah.
it so? Was this like a Black Votes Matter slash something event? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't even think organization put their name on it. It was just
Mm.
I got a text like, "Hey, we having this meeting with North Omaha leaders. Would you come?" Type of thing. Initially, I didn't respond, and then I think he hit me up again. And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I'll come," but I don't think nobody put their name on it.
mm. Jumping in the chat real quick. Tony Johnson said, "Folks need to embrace younger leadership like Senator McKinney. Us old folks had our opportunity, and look what we have done. Time for some of y'all so-called leaders to step aside and support. To step aside and support."
Mm.
Also, going down the line here, Rael Kell said, "Great event." I think we were talking about the BAA event at the time that you put that
Yeah.
in.
Shout out to Rael,
Also,
local artist.
Kimmer Snipe says, "I thought it was good." Kimmer Snipe says, It seemed based on ARPA to me. It was about people coming together and aligning with unit and uniting in order to make sure the process went smooth." Do you think that there was any did they come to anything where it felt like they were going to make the process a little smoother? Because we
No,
know,
Mm. So
straight up.
not productive, huh?
I mean it was just like come together, but there was no how or how to necessarily. I mean, there were
Mm.
discussions about, I guess, having another meeting and bringing everybody back together. I don't know what that meeting would consist of. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's. But my thing about ARPA and this whole thing is, even in that discussion and a lot of discussions, I just feel like a lot of people got ulterior motives and selfish motives behind it. Um, I don't know, like it's money brings the worst out of people, and that's what I've honestly seen over the last couple of years. It's less about the community and more about how can I get something, and that's been a problem um, the whole time. It shouldn't be this person or this organization got some money. I'm mad about it. Like, let's uplift them because the residual effects of them being successful benefits the whole community. Is and that's what frustrates me a lot. Hearing a lot of these discussions and listening on days I'm not even on, it's like always negative, always some type of conspiracy theory. I don't even know want to call it a conspiracy theory. It's just always something negative, like, oh, this is gonna be bad or something. And I'm like, man, like, are we trying to change the community, or are we just gonna be hopeless and say everything is gonna be bad? And I'm trying my best to be super optimistic that we can change our community. I know it's hard, but I also recognize we are in Nebraska. It is a red state. We live in a community that's never been invested in at no level. Nobody has ever really cared about our community outside of using us as a charity case or acting as our saviors. So, I mean, I understand the landscape and in the outlook of it, but I I just can't. I was listening to a Tupac song the other day, and it basically was like, you can't lose your faith because you do, they win. And if we're fighting against the system and we saying they're oppressing us and doing all these things to us, we can't be negative. We got to stay encouraged and positive to change our community. And then if we not, we can't wonder why we got kids still killing each other, going to jail. We got all this poverty. Our kids are being undereducated and all these things, the lowest life expectancy. Either we're going to try to change that, or we just should just throw our hands up and say, look, we tried. But we can't be negative all the time, though. Like, it's a lot of negativity in the world. As y'all see across the globally, it's a lot of just horrible stuff happening. And I think it's
Right.
because we always think about the negatives. We don't think about we could change this if we come together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, I always hit me one time a while back. I have these. Everybody have these little revelations that and shifts that they have in themselves. I had one time where I realized both things are true. There's the negative thing that's happening, but there's also the positive thing that's happening, and they're both true. And it really just kind of depends on which one you want to concentrate on. So, what I'm
Mm-hmm.
hearing you say is when I say when we get to this is season 6 boost to the roots. What can we do actively to change some things? You're saying that it got to start with the attitude first. It got to start with us being negative and deciding that we want to do something positive, do something that can help first before we can even make any moves. We got to change the attitude. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, it's definitely a mindset thing. It's just like playing a sport and going out there to compete. If you go out there thinking you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna lose, you're gonna lose.
You're gonna lose.
You
Visualization, yeah.
you got to believe in yourself. And I mean, I believe in our people that we can overcome all this, man. Like, it's just about us being willing to do the hard things to get what we want and being on a, like, just, it's not an easy road. It's a lot of obstacles in the way, like, but that don't mean be negative and give up.
Mm-hmm.
But
No.
when I'm saying that, I hope people don't get the misconception that I'm saying ignore the the stuff that happens. You don't ignore it, but you don't let it knock you off your route. Like, you address
Mm-hmm.
it, and
Rise to the occasion.
yeah.
Yep. We got another special guest waiting in the wings. Senator Justin Wayne in the house. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing, bro?
What up?
How's it going,
Man,
man?
good. I just realized this background on my wall. I'm light skinned. I got to get a different background.
Shuffling the deck here. You
Oh
good?
man, you good? We see you. We see
You
you.
good? You got a little sun this weekend. How's your weekend go? You get outside?
Man, I just went to my daughter's games. I did some refing. I'm starting to ref basketball to get my mind off of everything and just go out and
Okay.
I didn't even look at my phone for like 6 hours. I was like, this is great.
Okay.
And then Terrell called me about the meeting, and I said I'm glad I wasn't there because I'd have went off on a couple folks. So
Mm,
Mm.
man, maybe
Mm.
well, he just said maybe you got something that got to be addressed, something that you got to go ahead and go off about.
Man, was that a decision, or you just weren't invited,
no,
or
I was invited, but and I was planning on going. Then I forgot they rescheduled my daughter's game, so
okay?
I had to go to my I went to my daughter's game. But yeah, it was
Hey, natty duties. Uh oh.
Hey, you breaking up,
uh,
bro?
uh,
You breaking up.
Yeah, you just turned into Optimus Prime on us.
All right, I'll be back. I wanted to continue this idea Brother McKinney was talking about here, and apply it to the secession plan that we are always are talking about. Tony Johnson said, "Black
Hmm.
Omaha lose positions because no succession plan in place. Committee, school board, state positions, you name it." Very, very true. Very true. So, and we have Brother Justin Wayne on, who who is a person that is in need of us to a successor in this seat in particular. And so maybe this is one of these things we're talking about, how we can change our mindset first of all, come together on something that we need to be helping with and pushing on, and not letting this other stuff get us down, the negative stuff get us down. Maybe we can use that. Maybe we can decide, okay, let's use our platform here, our power here to search out some folks and to help put some things in place so we can tackle at least that problem, the problem of succession in some of these seats. So, what say you on that tip? I know we ask you every time what's the succession plan, but this time I'm asking what can we do to create one? What can we do to help one?
honestly, it's financial. So like my best friends are people who are close to me and people who grew up with me have been wanting to run, and I can't put them in a position where uh, they can't afford to live. And
Mm.
so for me, I mean, part of this whole ARPA dollars 1024 or 531 was we got to create some East Omaha Black Brown millionaires to create some industries that we can have a part time job and run for office. I mean, school board takes up 2 or 3 days of your month. OPPD takes up a day of your month. I mean, the legislature is 6 months out the year, and what I've seen down there is, particularly on Democrat side, if you're a Democrat, somehow you are affiliated with a nonprofit,
Mm,
and so they've been able to take care. At one point, I think I was before Senator McKinney got there. Actually, when Senator McKinney got there, he was working part time, I think, at Metro Community College. So I think I was literally the only minority or only Democrat who wasn't working for a nonprofit at that time in Lincoln. Um,
Mm.
and so, not having an economic base is real hard for me to tell you what I'm, somebody I know to be like, hey man, go down and sacrifice your family and your career for $12,000 a year plus some per diem.
yeah. Yeah, we forgot about that part. We covered that a while back because it was a revelation to us, and we failed to keep on reminding people about that every time we talk about succession. But yeah, part of it is the fact that they got this thing set up to where you're not making enough money, you're not making a living doing it, and so those of us that are not independently wealthy or associated with some folks or have a work situation where they can spend that kind of time, it's a little rough. And I remember
It's a
there
challenge.
was being some changes trying to be made in order to up that at one point. I think Tony Vargas or somebody was trying to get raises for people in order to open the door up a little bit more. Is that did I have that story right?
Yeah, I had a bill a couple years ago, and then Vargas had a bill, and now there's a bill just to do the extend the term limits to three terms. But I mean, like this week, Senator McKinney and I are going down to Ogallala because Western Nebraska is having a hard time filling prosecutors and county attorney positions.
Mm,
So we're having
Mm.
we're having a hearing down there on Wednesday to talk about those issues. That's what's going on in Western Nebraska, and that happens all the time. Education has a hearing on Friday. I mean, so not this Friday, but on Friday. So you got, even though it's 6 months out the year, you still got interim studies. I mean, Terrell had one up here for urban affairs. So you still got stuff that we got to do outside of that session. So if you were to put it on a calendar, it's probably 7 to 8 months out the year you working for $12,000 and some per diem. So yeah, that's the huge problem. So I mean, look, we're gonna be blunt about it. I told Senator McKinney don't run.
Mm.
I said, man, look, man, I became close to you. I know I understand the community needs you. I said, man, but financially, bro, you got a daughter. Like at the end of the day, you got to take care of your family. And he's like, I know, man, and I know why he's running, because you don't want to feel like like they get the win. You know what I'm saying? And the competitive wrestler in them wants to make sure they don't get the win. But as a friend, man, literally we sat down and had a long talk. I said, as a friend, I don't want you to run, man. It's I know I had to go through, and I watched him go through it for 4 years. Um, that financial piece, people can't it's just a big deal.
Boost to the roots. What can we do about it? What do other people do about it? You said something
Yeah, like
about they had nonprofit organizations sometimes.
Yeah, so like Moorfield had a Civic Nebraska. Anna was working for. I'm sorry, Senator Wisher was working for a nonprofit. Now she works for Monolith. At some point, Vargas went to 3 different. He was with Omaha Healthy Alliance. I think there was an association for qualified health centers. Uh, you look around, and if you ain't independently wealthy, it's tough.
So these brothers who you just mentioned, they're working for nonprofit organizations that allow them to spend the time to do that and still give them a check. Is that what we talking about?
Correct. Well, yeah. Now, I mean, Senator Wisher works for a for-profit company now, but yeah, you got to find a company that's willing to do that. And so, and we got a different dynamic, right? So, like, let's say Senator McKinney, he's going to law school and doing some things, and we plug him into a law firm. Now he's going to have a whole different conflict that nobody else has, or who they represent, and do they got to disclose, where other folks don't have to do that. Like I said, you got people who own banks who are on the Banking and Commerce Committee, but we got a different set of rules. And so just navigating all that, man, it's difficult.
Tony,
or similar to the Flatwater reports of the governor and his whole pig empire and ag.
Yeah, but you know what's funny was that conflict didn't get on the front page of the World Herald, but folks who didn't even get money got on and me got on the front page of the World Herald.
yeah, yeah, we've been noticing about some of the things that aren't making front page and who is getting attacked. Tony Johnson is asking a question in chat that I'm wondering how can community support financially without it seeming like paying for a vote?
See, that's what I'm saying. So like, if you say, look, Justin's gonna give Senator McKinney $400 just to make sure he okay. Well, anything over $25, I got to report. So so yeah, it's crazy.
So and if you report that, then they can come back and say you paying you what is it
Right.
what's wrong with that though? What's if say you do report it and say you are paying him that, then what's the conflict?
Well,
Conflict is I'm paying McKinney to vote.
yeah, it has to be like a real job, like a job. I can't just take you. You can't just give me $400 and it'd be cool. Like, if you give me $400 more, not more time, all the time, I got to go to the campaign account. It can't be my personal account.
Okay.
So it can only be spent for you to run and get votes, but once you're in office, how can
You could get money from
Senator-
I mean, your family is treated a little different, but honestly, you can't really take money from nobody.
Yeah. No, I mean it makes sense. I'm just trying to flesh out. I want to hear the reasons why, you know. So what about for profit? So if a for profit company can do the same thing a nonprofit can do, right? They can hire him in a position and allow him to spend the time to do what he's doing.
Correct.
Okay.
But
Tony,
we got a different standard though. Like I got people who are like, oh man, I can't let you represent me because I think it's a conflict. But they got no problem running over to another white attorney, and there ain't no conflict. Who's also a senator. So that's what I mean by we just got a different standard. And
you mean people put a different standard on y'all is what you're saying?
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
But the other thing that is important to think about is like if you go work for somebody and say I vote a way they don't like. I might not be working there no more. And I don't know. I just can't. That's also the other issue. Like I'm not about to work nowhere where I gotta diminish my voice to
Right.
like I
And
don't care.
he won't even let me buy him a hamburger. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you got to send that cheeseburger to the campaign, bro. Send it to.
It's a campaign burger. Tony Johnson coming with some ideas. He says, "What if I donate $20 hundreds of times?"
If it's in within 1 year, it's the same person. You have to disclose, and so like that's like so so there's two different things. One's a gift, right? So if you get $20 a gift just to keep lights on. If it's over $20 in 1 year, you have to disclose it as a gift. You have to disclose it as a gift from a person. If it's to help him run his office or to get elected, that goes to his campaign account.
Well, I mean, you can't do some Clarence Thomas business around here. I mean, we can give you some gifts, right? And you should be all right if as long as
Nah, so like matter of fact, like Vargas got married. I think our first year or during the campaign was one of them, and he had to disclose all his wedding gifts and who they were from.
wow.
Just for his wedding.
Yeah,
But again, I'm trying. Here's what I still got to ask the question though. So, yes, we giving him gifts. So what? What you know what I'm saying? Like, what does that mean?
Like once they disclose it,
We disclosed it. We gave him a gift.
that's
Um,
fine.
they got to
I mean,
prove that he's voting that he's voting for us on some stuff or whatever, right? I mean, like,
But we black, man. That's
so that's what you
we
mean.
didn't
They
get
put a different standard. They put a different standard on us. Okay. It's the reason why everybody in Congress is probably getting gifts, but Clarence Thomas is getting busted right now for it. But okay, so all right. I still like Brother McKinney said, I'm not giving up on this. We can find a way. we can we can play
man.
the game. We can do it right. Do it how they do it how they say it's legal to do. So we'll just have to figure that out. T. Ren in the chat said, if financial circumstances change or even spirit towards the position, it's understandable to bow out. We need fully committed and dedicated persons in this type of environment. That's an interesting comment. Um, Red Kale says, I feel like. Go
fully
ahead.
dedicated. No, I was gonna say I'm wake up every day committed to the job and fully dedicated.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm not a realist though, but it is what it is. I signed up for it.
Yeah.
and I mean that's I think what you'll get. I mean from me too. That's just what it was. Like at the end of the day, you sign up for it and you put your blood, sweat, and tears in it. And the biggest thing is you got to recognize when you're too close to it. So like for example, if I'd have been at the meeting on Saturday, the director of prisons was there, and that probably wouldn't have been a good conversation for me and him right now because he's the one who initiated to going after LB 50 and making sure that it. So it's just we all human, and I think people who watched session last year found out. I mean, we spent day and night trying to get that bill passed with negotiations and then on the back end they all want to say, yeah, we don't want jam outs, but it's unconstitutional. I mean, without coffee in the morning, that might have been an interesting conversation.
Okay.
Real Kale in the chat says, question, where do you see the North Omaha community in politics in the next few years or just improvements in general for the community?
I think it depends on who's in office in the next 3 years. I think, in my opinion, we Senator Wayne is going to be termed out, and we need some more leaders at all levels that are going to push against the status quo, and honestly, not care about how they perceived as far as the outside community of North Omaha. We need people in office that are going to try to be innovative and be bold about the type of change we need in North Omaha. I think that's the only way we're going to get some change done. It can't be somebody getting in just to appease other people to make them feel comfortable with us. We need some people that's going to get on the ground and run and not look back. So I don't know. I think it depends on the next elections over the next couple years because you got the statewide elections and then that next spring you got the city elections. So I think it's going to
Hmm.
depend on that on who we put in office.
Brother Wayne, you said that you have friends and people that you talk to on that could be part of the succession plan for you, but financial situations will hold them back. You, barring financial situations, do you have people that you know of in your mind that would qualify? Or you think would be a great candidate if they can overcome that hurdle?
Oh yeah, I think there's people out there who definitely can do it and do it well, and know the nuances of District 13. Like you know, I only represent a small part of North Omaha. When I say small, Florence, just north of Ames on 60th and 52nd. Like my Ames and Maple are kind of not even Maple. Ames and Pratt are my cutoff on 42nd going west. So like the true
Mm.
heart of North Omaha is Senator McKinney, uh, and so there's a lot of nuances. Like you can't. You got to be able to be unapologetically black, but you also got to be unapologetically white. And it worked for me being biracial. It was real easy for me to do that. Like I know you can do both and coexist because that's the exact reason why I'm here.
Mm.
But you got to be able to navigate that. Like there's just we got an old part of town and we got a lot of new houses out there past 72nd Street. So you got a lot of different cultures out here, and you got to be able to navigate all of that without losing who you are. And that's
Hmm.
and right now that means the extremes on both sides don't win. They've never really won in this district, and they won't win.
Mm.
Like you got a lot of mixed couples in my district, and having a racial conversation is difficult, but you got to be able to do it because they struggling with the same thing. Like how like my mom said is she didn't really get it until she had kids, and when we got pulled over by cops, and it was a different conversation when the cop thought my brother stole the car because he's black, and the cop asked my mom on the phone like you is your son black? And she's like, well, yeah. I mean, I know who my son is, but
Hmm.
but those conversations are hard to have, and those and navigating that is. So the extremes on both sides don't do well in District 13.
Mm.
But,
Okay.
but there's people out there, and I mean, I made it my mission that when I'm turned out, I got to figure out how to take care. I'm gonna say take care of McKinney like he my son, but like at the end of the day, we got to build a system that finances isn't the problem of why people can't run for
Right.
office.
Especially the
So, in your opinion, we're kind of asking, how do you feel that should be addressed, or how do you see that being solved?
For-profit companies. Like, at the end of the day, we know Senator McKinney's involved. I'm just using him as an example. We know people, whatever
Mhm.
they passionate about and whatever they into, like we got to have an industry that can support that. And that's not hard to do if people truly want to come together. But I mean, but this has been going on since we was in high school. I mean, this isn't nothing new, and it's really us not taking the leadership role in business.
mm.
That's been the problem. We don't
I
have business minded people who have the ability to make business decisions to say, I see the value in making sure we taking care of folks and they in the room who look like us who are passing legislation. We have nonprofits who are controlled by other people saying, if you don't vote this way, we ain't supporting you.
Mm. Wow.
and the more I think about it, I have to agree. I definitely and was kind of adding another element to what's going on with the ARPA funds and the infusion of funds coming to North Omaha. Thinking back to the civil rights movement and who was paying for Dr. King to do all that traveling, who was supporting all of these movements, who was doing that, and it was mostly independent families who had an economic base who was donating to that. And without that, you're right, nothing else is going to work. The more I think about it. Um, okay.
Paul Philman in the chat, lobbying business.
Yep.
No,
Yep.
let us know
Yep.
what you mean there by that. Also, shout out to Paul Philman. He was over at the gang intervention meeting Saturday as well. Lots of really great moments there, man. We're gonna have our brother Qasim and our brother Sherman Wells on a little bit later on in the show. They just texted me and said they're gonna be on a little later. he got to go pick up kids and all that good stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, we'll have them on a little later and talk about those things as well. We earlier we were talking about the great meeting that was, the work that these brothers are doing. We always see this path of the people who are involved in the ARPA funds and some of the other monies that are coming into North Omaha to try to get them funneled into programs like what the BAA and Untamed are doing, because we see it really helping. Man, I saw it firsthand myself Saturday. Young man stood up and made a comment that he was ready to get some help, and everybody cheered him, and it was beautiful to see the BAA say we got something for you. You know, if when you ready, we got something for you. So come on with us. You know, so I'm firsthand. We talk about boots to the roots. We talk about people that are actually speaking to the youth and dealing with things on that level, and we praise them for that. We also obviously have you guys on all the time because there's this other end of the spectrum as well, where policy and laws and stuff got to get made in order to make some
Mm-hmm.
kind of difference too. We need it all. We need it all. So in between all that, I'm seeing you're right. It's one of the biggest issues here is economically in our city, in our part of the town, and in our community. I've been asking this now for the past month. Who are the business leaders? Where are they at? Where are those people at? I can name a couple names. I said that I would ask a couple people to come on to the show and talk about it. But we still need more, and we need to find out what's going on with that. And so with the chaos of what's happening with these millions of dollars coming in. Also, we were just talking about this too. We started off a nonprofit situation by working over at Malcolm X Memorial Foundation and building out mine and solar radio channel over there. And I was raising all the money in order to make sure that channel was on. And I had to get deep into that game. And I know that my mindset changed from a for-profit mindset to a non-profit mindset, and it did me dirty. It did me wrong to like we made First Sky Omaha for profit because we were like we got to be done with that world. The play that game is something else. And one of the first things that happened was we were scrapping over like small grants, $20,000 here and there. We scrapping with other organizations in town, creating black disunity in organizations over scrapping over these crumbs, money
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't enough to really even create jobs or do anything. And,
To
and
begin
so
with.
and so, when I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking, well, no wonder here we are today, right now, with hundreds of millions of dollars coming into the North Oman. There's no unity. I'm saying all this to get to this point. What can we do? We already are trying to do the best we can to navigate this situation because we're in it right now. But what can we do in general in order to build more unity in the community, in the black community specifically, more unity for a voice to be heard in the same way the Latino community is talking about doing that now. What can we do to try to bring some more unity and to mitigate a little bit this chaos of these millions of dollars coming in and all the battles that are happening because of it? Any advice there on that?
I think before we could ever come to any type of unity, we got to be able to get in the room and have an honest conversation. And people got to take constructive criticism. There's too many people that feel like they aren't the problem and they haven't done any wrong.
Mm.
And if we don't get past, if we can't have an honest conversation about that, then I don't know if we ever get anywhere. Have an honest conversation about the state of the community. I remember when I was running for office, and I just said, drive around North Omaha and nothing has changed, and you would be surprised how many calls I got saying, "Oh, you kind of disrespectful. You saying this person didn't do anything." And I'm like, "No, I'm just being honest. Look at the community. Tell me what changed."
Mm-hmm.
And if we can't have that conversation, then I don't know if we ever get anywhere.
I think two things is we got to support black businesses, whatever it is. I don't care if it's the local guy who's cutting your grass, and at the same time, we got to hold those businesses accountable. So I'm not saying, we the first ones to hop on social media saying we don't like this person or this place because we had one bad experience, but go back to McDonald's every time after
Mm.
your 20th bad experience, right?
And when the
So
shake machine ain't never working, ain't ever working.
right, right.
Man.
So one, we got to do business with black businesses, but also we gotta help them raise their standards too. Like that's just what we got to do. But two, we got to get out of we got to stand up to the foundation mafia, and that's kind of where now I'm on my way out. I can say little things more freely still and not worry about it. But our foundation mafia in Nebraska it's crazy.
Man,
Uh,
what is
you
the
know,
foundation mafia?
man, it's these foundations. They sit in the back room and they deciding everything for East Omaha, and that includes North and South Omaha.
You talking about the family
So
foundations out here?
so some of the family foundations they work independently, but there's a group of them that at the end of the day you got to get blessed for everything. And uh, I mean, we got nonprofits that do the exact same thing 5 or 6 times, and somehow they all got an executive director that ain't from East Omaha, and they're here to help color folk, right? Like they're here to help color folk, and I'm like, why y'all got 5 different nonprofits? Because they all getting paid off of it, right? And they all do the same thing. They all had the same events, and they all uh, anyway. And so, what I would tell you is just look at the who's getting the money that coming in. You can include South Omaha, those projects, and look who's on their board. And just because they have one Latino running it as an executive director or the community outreach person, but look who's on their board, and that's really who's making the decisions, and that's also in North Omaha. And so I think Senator McKinney got his wake up 3 years ago when we did an interim study that he put in for called about the oversaturation of nonprofits in North Omaha, and somehow we walked out of that meeting as every as
No,
Senator,
of course,
Senator Wayne and Senator McKinney. Right, my phone rang right when I said that. But that
They
tells you
calling you
that
right
tells
now.
you
They're like, shut up,
that
shut up.
tells you the conspiracy. They're like, call Wayne, he talking too much. Next thing I know, P Diddy gonna tell me I can't talk no more.
Too soon, too soon, too soon.
Take it easy.
Oh
No,
man,
man.
oh
I'm just
man.
saying, but no, for real though, for real. Like we sat in a room with these nonprofits, and they basically said, "We ain't gonna do nothing. We ain't gonna support y'all." And the tone was because it was black led, and we thought there ain't no way we gonna fund them. And I'm seeing right now that we're gonna fund a lot of them, which was never the intention. I mean, Shovel Ready just came out. If y'all didn't read the article on Nebraska Examiner,
Yeah, we
uh,
seen it.
so Creighton got 30 million, which we kind of knew that was going there. But then Creighton Prep, Duchesne, and some other private school got all the money. And you can't tell me that. I mean, Creighton Prep ain't got a huge alumni that could
Come
raise
on.
4 or 5 million, right? Right. So like that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that list. That definitely jumped out. Where are the Malcolm X's? Where are the man? There's definitely a lot of North Omaha organizations that could use that a piece of it. But I know Paul, you kind of mentioned as far as who applied for it,
Yeah.
and that was a good point as well. It's like as far as information, who's getting the
But
information?
Yeah,
the
but see,
the
there's a
trick
thing. Go ahead, Trey. You about to say the same thing? Can you go ahead?
the trick is that shovel ready application was only out for like a day.
It was only open for one day.
Really?
First come, first serve. One day.
And organizations that already had a payroll, somebody on payroll. You know what I'm saying? An organization that already had somebody. Oh, my bad, man. I'm fingering everything all wrong. When a organization that already had people in place to fill out those grants and sit there and wait for that one day to come, or the ones that capitalize on that. Whereas a lot of black businesses would not be, didn't even organizations. I should say a lot of black organizations, because we're talking nonprofit dollars here, um, weren't even big enough to be able to jump on some of those things. But I really feel like it's like the oversaturate. Here's a T Ren that's taking the word out of my mouth. I was thinking oversaturation. The oversaturation is driven by the structural conditions perpetually created and upheld by lawmakers. This is a symptom. It's interesting. Oversaturation of nonprofit organizations is what I was thinking of. That's what you're thinking of, T Ren?
I don't. Yeah, but I've always been like before I got into office, I was saying we had too many nonprofits in North Omaha. I just think but that's years of only seeing that as the viable option to try to uplift our
Right.
community. argument is you've been doing that for 30 plus years and it hasn't worked.
Yeah.
Nothing's worked. Literally in the room with those foundations, when they were kind of pushing back on, supporting, I was like, I just looked at them like nothing y'all done has worked. Like, I don't even understand why y'all even being this pushing back this much. Nothing y'all done has worked, honestly.
Here's the dynamics in the room. McKinney, you downplaying the dynamics in the room. So I'm sitting here trying to walk a fine line, talking to him, blah, 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 and they pushing back hard. Then McKinney just looks at him and says, nothing y'all do is work, y'all. Like, y'all got to do something else. So I just sit down and was like, well, that's the end of this meeting.
It's the end of that conversation. But I will say though, man, I got this motto that I try to live by called real talk, real time. And we if you don't have it, then you can't get nowhere. There is a way to have it, and hopefully there's some techniques that'll allow for the conversation to continue. But you got me sitting here, man, imagining, envisioning first Sky Omaha putting together some kind of a for us by us roundtable where we could sit down and without any kind of outside spies and stuff like that, and sit down and actually have this hard talk and hard conversation with each other, and hopefully do it in a way that people can respond and something can come of it. You see that working? You see that helping at least?
Hey,
some kind of mediation in that conversation.
So I got one funny comment though. So at the meeting on Saturday, everybody's getting in there, all black people. Then this white dude walk in and nobody know who he is. Literally, Preston come up to me like, "Hey, you know who he is?" Like, no, I don't. Chimer look at me like, "Who is he?" I'm like, "I have no idea. I still don't know who he is."
Spies, bro. Spies.
Hey.
At the BAA meeting, man, at the gang intervention meeting, man, they Sherman Wells had to call him out. He's like, and we have somebody here from Don Bacon's office as well. Stand up for us, please. The only one or two or three white guys in the room, like that's how we kind of feel, man. And I think that's a very important piece of it, is that we need to kind of get in the room and be able to talk to each other and not feel like we're doing this in front of the whole city. But have some hard discussion about to me, I think that's one of the first steps. That's what you do with the family. You have family first in the house before you go out calling your cousin out in public and so on and so forth. So, is that what they were trying to do Saturday morning with that meeting?
I guess it was trying to get people to come together to start having conversations and be united and hold people accountable, I guess, if they're getting funds, and start thinking about who's running for office and registering people to vote. It was all like mixed in. I don't know, honestly. Like, it was kind of one of those meetings where it was like, I've been here before. Like, where's the action?
Have y'all been y'all leaders in this community? Have you been invited to Black leaders meetings? Is there a meeting that people have called for Black leaders to come to?
Well, that's a trick. That's a trick question. That's a trick question.
Because who are the Black?
Because there are meetings. There are meetings that we called. There are meetings that we go to. But I am not part of the Black Knights.
Ooh. I'm just learning about
the Black Knights. Did I just
just learning about the Black Knights? Just learning.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that?
I'm not a part of it. It's a group of Black community leaders that was appointed or anointed by an individual who's not Black, and they meet. And the only reason why I know really about it is because Malcolm X and a hemp bill that I helped educate some Don Bacon on. Don Bacon went and presented to this group and came out and called me and was just like, there was so much negativity in there towards you. What's going on? And I was just like, I ain't a part of that group.
Okay, so let's back up here for a minute. The question is,
hey, what's up, P. Diddy? How you doing?
Let me get
Dang.
to it before we get cut off some kind of weird way. Somebody
Man.
in cahoots with Cox right now. Okay, well, look, cut them off.
Man,
Cut them off.
get power lines on fire or something.
Who are the black leaders is the question, and that is a question we can ask 5 different people, get 5 different answers. So we actually got requests from one of the chat chimers to put together a black leadership meeting. We said, well, who are those people? Well, first of all, the black leaders that we're talking about are elected officials.
Start
Let's
there.
start with the elected officials first. Have you ever sat in a room? Have you ever been in a leadership meeting, sitting there with Chris Rogers, sitting there with Juanita Johnson, sitting there
Juanita
with other
Johnson.
people who have been elected officials, sitting there at a table together, trying to get on the same page?
Yes, we initiated that 2 years ago. Actually, we started in 2020, right, with COVID. Uh, we started meeting with the black elected officials, and I guess a safe way to say it is some people's actions wasn't following the agenda, so the conversation broke down.
Mm.
Like, it's one thing if somebody would just come in and be like, "Hey, I had to vote this way because, down the road this is what we trying to do," or but like we'd be like, "Well, what's going on?" And they'd be like, "Well, I don't know," or they would be like, "It's I couldn't do it," or like times we don't even know about it. We just be like, "What? Why'd you vote that way? How come you didn't tell us ahead of time?" And it was non-responsive.
Wow.
So, how? Yeah, that's a problem. That's like, how can the constituency get behind unified leadership if the leadership can't unify? How do we get anything done on many
I
levels?
think the key is you got to change the leadership. We if we got leadership that some has been in office for a minute and probably needs to be changed. Just being honest, like we have a new juvenile jail downtown because of black people, black leadership.
Facts.
Man.
Literally, like let's be honest. That's why one got moved. Well, partly why it got removed, and the other one's still there. We got school board. We got a school system that is horribly ran,
Mm.
but we got people on there that look like us that cool with it.
So, should we say names? I mean, is that um,
Look, I mean, back
you
to the
talking about
point.
Chris Rogers and Ricky Smith, right?
It's a
I mean,
difference.
I like Ricky Smith.
But
I
he
don't know
got
the
to go
dynamics.
for a
That's what I'm
while.
saying. Like, we can't cover each other and support each other if we don't know the dynamics. So there has to be some communication of what's going on and how
Right.
things are going. And we was talking about
Eh,
the
eh,
gun bill and maybe supporting it and maybe not. Juanita reached out to us and was like, "Here goes the impact on the city." And we had conversations about why we thinking about supporting it and why we not. Like, that's
okay.
that's what we should be doing.
And I guess that's kind of our the minimal question, like what level or what frequency of conversation are there between state, city, and county as far as black elected officials?
Usually,
Um,
the most I've gotten from black elected, like majority, is when it's a bill on the floor and it's a hot topic, and they text like, "Oh, you should text. Hopefully, you voting this way, or hopefully you're not
Mm.
voting this way." That's only when. But then
but there's no agenda going into it.
they're only writing you because they got put up to write you because of white people.
Like, so you feel like you're getting those texts because somebody is coming to those people like, hey, you should reach out to such and such, see if you can sway your guy this way
You
for
better
us.
get your boy. Get your boy. He's about to vote wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
100%.
And they understand your perspective, why you choose to vote this way or that way, but they'll still advocate on behalf of those people.
So the question is, who's advocating on our behalf?
I mean, that's where I'm at. I mean, at the end of the day, that's where I'm at. I want to be a team player. I want to sit down and figure out how to make it work. But at the end of the day, we got to have some basic level of principles.
Do you is this politics? Is this just politics? Is everybody doing this, or is this specific to the black community?
I think the difference is those other communities aren't their some of their leadership isn't being pushed by outside.
So
Like,
I'll give you here goes an example. Senator McKinney's first year, we disagreed, and we disagreed publicly. We got in the room and said that we will never do that again. We may just vote differently, but we ain't gonna do it again. We've tried to have those same conversations, and we got people holding community meetings about where's the 1024 money and what we doing wrong publicly. And I'm like, without even a phone call to us. So it ain't that we can't disagree, but here's what happens though. So Senator McKinney is getting an award. I think he's an honoree at an event for how he voted in the legislature this year. I honestly can't remember me and you having a different vote this year. So how did I get left off and he got on? And it ain't even about the award. It's just they will try to figure out a way to divide us all the time. Like I was going back and I saw the list and I'm like, I don't think we voted differently at all this year because it wasn't that many votes. So how did I get left off?
Wow.
we didn't vote on a lot of stuff.
I got to tell you, fellas, you get definitely a lot to chew on today. I appreciate all the subjects that we have jumped into. Really, my little recap on this is that we got to figure out a way to help create some succession plans. Business is the key for a whole bunch of things. We need to be concentrating on. We need to kind of get this whole idea of for the longest time, the only money that anybody was seeing in our neighborhoods was nonprofit dollars coming in, and we got years of scrapping over that kind of stuff. And then kind of thinking in the way of, well, at least those dollars will always come in. I don't know about doing business anywhere else or doing whatever, but we got to really concentrate on industry and business. It has to happen. That's the missing link from programs and things that are needed in our neighborhoods. And then the millionaires or the people, the politicians, the people that are making decisions. There's a whole empty space in between that I think business and industry ought to be in. You guys have done the great work of trying to bring some money into those industries. Now we're all here trying to navigate everybody getting some and getting on the same page and it benefiting our neighborhoods and so on and so forth. In order to keep this thing rolling, we absolutely need to create some kind of infrastructure to support those of us that are in seats and some kind of situation where we can help people of like mind get into seats as well, and then all be able to get together. Everybody get together and get on the same page and have more of a unified voice and agenda on what it is that we all can agree on that will help the black community. Buddy always says, conversation rules the nation. We can't have it without having these kind of conversations. And we need to maybe decide that in 2024, we're going to try to do something to have more conversations, even with more people in these seats, allies as well. Everybody involved in order to try to get on the same page, become one voice on some stuff and help. So, Brother McKinney started off this conversation saying, let's not drown in the negative. Let's not feel like there's no hope. Let's hold people accountable and speak up. Don't act like stuff ain't happening, but at the same time, don't let it get us. Don't let it make us stop. Don't let it affect how we gonna do things. That's kind of my recap, buddy. What you feeling like?
Really, what just came to mind is every theme for every season of First Sky Omaha. It's 2024, ballot or the bullet. Teamwork is gonna make the dream work. We gotta follow the money. We gotta put this stuff into implementation because all of these things is what's gonna bring it together. Without any of those things, none of this is gonna work. And we gotta start having some real conversations. Are we family? Are we a community or not? Can't have community without calm or communication or unity. Period.
Yo.
Appreciate you, brothers.
Yeah, man. And let's move this on too. I'm seeing some people in the chat. Miss Erica Phil says this is called the Black Knight, so only for black men, but must be appointed by someone not black. I don't see how anyone would accept being a part of it. So many foul layers. I don't
Mm.
know. We'll look into it. I'm just learning about it now. But
Yeah, I was
the
today
next
years old.
next time we have some conversations, I want to talk about that because we're talking about black leadership. We're talking about black leadership and first officials, like we were saying, elected officials. We're talking black leadership when it comes to the big organizations, nonprofit organizations, empowerment networking, and people like that are considering themselves leaders in the community as well. We also have like a group like the Black Knights that are leaders. We have groups like the BAA and Untamed that we consider the leaders. So when we say who are the black leaders, we literally you can ask 5 people and get 5 different answers. I don't care if there is 5 different groups. Can we all get together and have a conversation though, and
Right.
try to figure something out? So anyway, I'd like to pose that for like the next time that we talk, or just get back to this question about the leadership in the first place and who we need to be trying to have conversations with, so we can get in the rooms, have these conversations. So with that said, any final words from you, brothers, before we let you go? We got a special guest sitting in the wings. We're gonna bring him in a second here. But what say y'all?
I just think it all comes down to the black influencers. I don't even call people leaders like that anymore, and I don't consider myself one. How do we make
Mm.
influence in the space that we in? And the biggest thing is how do we create industry? That's what I've seen from being on the OPS boards and now being in the state legislature. If we don't have economic independence, we can never have true negotiating strength at the table.
Facts. Facts.
That sounds like yeah. Thank you.
Gotta fund your own freedom.
Mic drop. How about you, Senator McKinney?
Um, I guess I would say just the biggest thing is kind of what Senator Wayne just said, and also we got to be unafraid to go against the status quo, no matter how difficult or how hard it is. I think that's
Got
the only
Dennis.
way. No, that's me. That's they speed around here. You hear sirens,
Man,
but just not be not be afraid to push the status quo. I mean, I see kind of like what's our black agenda or whatever. Like honestly, as black people, I think we know what we want and what we need. It's just are we willing to do what it takes to get that? Because that's the conversation we need to have. We can't say we want economic independence and not stand united and not go against the power structure. You can't get that without going against the power structure in the city. Now, if we want economic independence, we're gonna have to go against a lot of people, and you might lose a lot of money in the process. But the end goal is the end goal, and you just gotta be willing to do that.
So here's what I'm gonna do for y'all. I will send an email out today to the black elected officials, and we will get a date, and we will sit down and try to put together an agenda.
we will absolutely help host that if we can be a part of that. We'd love to.
Yep.
Appreciate it, brothers. Thanks again for coming on each week and hipping us to some more stuff. Really appreciate y'all for doing the work. We'll be in touch.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace. There you go, elected officials. Senator Terrell McKinney, Senator Justin Wayne. I appreciate them coming on. And without further ado, since we got a little bit of time left here in the show, we're going to bring on Brother Qasim Shabazz of the BAA. There he is. Good morning, brother. How you doing, sir?
What's happening? How you doing, fellas?
Man, we're doing great, bro. We're doing great.
Yes,
I'm still feeling real high from the meeting on Saturday. That was a beautiful thing.
Man.
The turnout was great. There's a couple of real great moments with some of the young folks. Really was a touching event, bro. And so, first of all, how you doing? How you doing personally? How's your spirit? How you feeling?
Man, alhamdulillah, man. I'm okay. Just
Man.
try to stay healthy and get ready for the next. And yourself. How about you, brothers?
Man, can't complain, man. Allahu Akbar, man. You know how it go.
Sir, yes, sir.
Bro, I'm trying to eliminate some things in my life so I can have a little bit more peace and a little bit more health myself. So that's what I'm working on. So, and also to be a part of things more, to never have the time to do so. So I was real happy to be able to get out and check out the meeting on Saturday. How'd you feel like the meeting went, bro?
Matt, I missed it.
And I think, we only had 4 days promotion. Good, because I ended up going to Vegas, so the original date got pushed, and then the 14th, I think we didn't start pushing that thing until I think like Tuesday or something. So it was phenomenal turnout. It was, man, it was there. So you got the experience. I'm still processing it. I was happy to see your face and many of the others. Our guy Chris, baby boy, he showed up, man.
Hey,
Anthony Rogers and a bunch of guys, man, that are grounded showed up. So it was beautiful. It was amazing.
Yeah, man.
Paul,
Paul Filman in the house. Yeah,
man. Huge supporter, man.
Paul Filmer in the chat right now says BAA will have to fill void for kids who don't have dads, man.
Man,
among other things.
real men.
Not just that, not just don't have dads, man. Just it takes a village, bro. Even if you have a dad, you need to be able to be around some brothers.
Yeah, pops can't be everywhere all the time.
Wouldn't be who I was if I didn't have uncles, my grandfather, other men in my community, men I call my mentors. You know what I'm saying? And my dad was around, so like. You just need to be around. You just need to be around men. You just need to be around people that are family oriented. I was waiting for you to get on before I talked about this one piece, but man, you had me and Chimer. The dudes had me and Chimer over there in tears, bro. The meeting went on. A young man stood up. Well, first of all, Brother Sherman Wells was talking about he was trying to make sure that parents get held accountable as well. So he was saying, what do they see in the home, so on and so forth. This young brother stood up and he said, hey, first of all, I saw great things in my home. My mom raised me right. It was me that wanted to go out and act a fool. So shout out to my mom, number one. He praised his mom. And then he said, I've been out here doing some things. I'm young. I've done some things. And I'm trying to tell you right now, I think it's time for me to ask for some help. Bro, the whole room erupted, bro, in applause for this young bro, man, and we was like tearing up, like, you know what I'm saying? Just the power of this young man, standing up and saying that he's hearing what you're saying and he wants some help, and then Brother Qasim's response was, "We got something for you." That's the beautiful part of it is that when a young person wants some help,
they get it.
Then they got some people that can stand up and say, "We got something for you. Come on with us. We got you. We got you. We got you back." So that was one of the highlights for me for that meeting, man. Because I'm not able to be around a lot of young folks a lot of times, especially with what's going on. And I was able to be there in that room with that young man and hearing that, and that struck me very, very heavy. So it just reinforced everything that I knew about what BAA, Untamed, and everybody is doing. You guys are absolutely the leaders in this community. You're absolutely necessary to have y'all and your resources and the things that you're doing. And so glad that we were able to partner and support and be a part of what happened at that day. So thank you, bro. I just want to thank you personally for making that happen.
Appreciate you. So yeah, we're on that young brother as of yesterday, him and his mother. So we honor our word, and like I said in that. Excuse me. Like I said, don't wake the devil up until you got something for him to do.
Man.
And not even I'm referring, metaphorically. You know what I mean? Just that, man, it come down to having those resources. I like to say all the time, man, as of now, we have never received a grant. We've never received a loan. The people of the community have been backing us, man. So we're able to get all of this done with what we would consider to be, we broke. With nothing. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't have all these millions and millions of dollars come into the city, man, and they're not being allocated the right way. And then those that are in position to educate those of us on the process
aren't doing it.
Okay? They're not doing it. So it put me in a position to kind of wonder, what's really going on.
Man, it's a real funny juxtaposition just for you to point that out. Like, just look at what can be done when you just have a clear agenda, some clear unity. Like we don't need the multi-millions. We really don't. We can use them, But in reality, we got teachers.
People power.
We got everything we need. All we need is us. But do we have us? Do we have each other really? And it just really hit me this whole hour and a half conversation we just had with the senators, and just now in 5 minutes you coming on, and it's like, oh yeah, we can come together. Oh yeah, we can do things. Oh yeah, we can get things done without millions of dollars.
Yeah. Brother McKinney said it too when he was on. He was like, "Man, so people gonna show up and act out when money's involved. That's just is what it is." We also talk very heavily about our attitude about nonprofit organizations. We try to utilize them and we try to do what we need to do, but it's turned into a nonprofit town, North Omaha. We don't even have people who know business. Like it even messed my mind up. I was an entrepreneurial cat in California, came out here and had to jump into the nonprofit game when we did Mine and Soul at Malcolm X over there. And it changed my whole way of thinking about how you even are supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing to even acquire money. I had to get back into the business mind this last couple of years because of what the world of the nonprofit kind of did to my brain. I can see that it's a tool. It can be used, but it cannot be the thing that controls everything. It cannot be the dominant factor in our neighborhoods. It just can't be. You know what I'm saying? Man. But Kimber Snipes says, "So it was so beautiful." She's talking about that moment there with that young man. She said, "All I can think about was the kids I worked with at the Washington Branch Library. He was on point. I had a lot of issues with the parents." T-Ren said, "This is the type of ground zero actions I'm talking about." Right.
Yeah.
Who else said? Stephen Abraham in the chat. Good morning. He said, "BAA is an organization that is committed to making positive changes in our community." Committed.
For real.
That's what's up. Wanda Lewis says, "It's not how much you have, it's what you do with what you got."
Man, it's not in the possession of things, but knowing to use them.
You can have all the money, but if you ain't got the spirit and the love for the community in the first place to do anything with it, nothing gonna happen. So what I saw in that room was love for the community. I saw Smoking Doja come and provide food. I seen leaders from Malcolm X come through. Leo Lewis showed up in the room. Chrome, who's been out there doing stuff. I've seen people in the room, bro, and the real killer is, I didn't see a whole bunch of the other quote unquote leaders there. That was what stood out to me. That there was an ARPA funds meeting right before that Preston Love and everybody was at. How come anybody show up at the BAA, bro? Why didn't nobody show up at this meeting? You know what I mean? So to me, things got to get together. Folks got to get together. And the reason why I respect what y'all do is because if folks ain't gonna get together, we still gonna move.
Right.
Yeah. That's what's wild is they sent Don Bacon sent a couple of his representatives. So imagine how that make us feel.
Right.
On the flip side, excuse me. So it's one of them where we put in a position where it's this thing to play so many games with your head, and that's the reason it's important to deal with it from a sober perspective, man. Because the type of stuff that we endure, we see, man, it leads to smoking and all type. People don't think about how much the activists, or they call us the activists, have on the shoulders and keep their own homes intact and everything else. And then you have people in whom the community consider to be the enemy add up to your events to support, or what they would consider to be support. And then you have, like I stated earlier today, you have all of these entities in the city. They know what we're doing. They know elders in the community know what's going on, but they haven't taken the time out to carve a path or even educate. Matter of fact, there's no even with the political. I was speaking to my cousin Precious, and we're in the process of creating a couple forms in which and where we can take or provide education to our youth in regard to learning and procedure, or even the political, how the political platform works. Right now, there's nothing. And then we wonder why, when vote time come around, you got 2, 3, 4 generations of people that's not voting. Why we have never seen where it worked for us? That's one.
Right.
Right. And then two, there's nothing in place to educate our youth, in this realm. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's this, man, and whether you want to take, God or the Bible or the Quran or whatever, metaphorically, it even took God itself, himself to call things into existence. It took time. You see what I'm saying? And it took effort and it took sacrifice. Okay. And then if we really want to take it to another level, shoot, if you want to get in and talk about where he felt as if he had made a mistake, came through and wiped everything. All right, we go every day. See what I'm saying,
man?
So
we started our prophecy. Let's keep it on that.
Hey, it's we're talking about trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
We got to be willing to go through trial and error. Okay, so that's what this thing come down to. So you got trial and error, and then you have those components that we. Okay, I said, I'm taking all my boys, including the one that stood up and gave his testimony. They doing what they're doing because they're not exposed to anything else. I'm taking all those boys. You see what I'm saying? But just taking them and exposing them to things that they never get exposed to, and that's what did it for me. That's what started to unlock my mind is being exposed to things that I've never seen, and those have been stripped. Those cities have been stripped. Going into the winter season, too much anymore. We'll continue to do my brother hard. Guess what?
Good.
And they don't know how to do it. Saying, man, this is around. They got no money. We ain't got. I mean,
right.
Let me jump in here real quick, man. It's 9:02 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we do have a agreement to end the show at 9, but I want to make a new agreement with y'all. Maybe you can give Brother Qasim some more time here. You can stick with us for another few minutes here into the show, so we can keep talking to Brother Qasim here. And I appreciate if you guys are fine with that. Thank you very much. Also, I wanna just shout out people in the chat that are talking about Tony Johnson says they're talking about the leaders. They're not showing up because they're not being spotlighted. Too many egos. Also, Miss Erica Phil said I knew Donnie wouldn't show up himself. That was an advertising opportunity for him. Bringing his folks over.
It don't matter. It don't matter what it was. The people who look like us wasn't showing up. Don't matter whether it was a sponsor that show up. Guess what? He gave money. The Democratic Party didn't. All right, or whoever. All right, scratch that. So it don't matter who showed up and who don't show up because of what up he gave.
Yeah.
All right. So don't. Hey, you know what I mean, Sister Gwen? I ain't never met you a day in my or anybody in this chat that's on that. You see what I'm saying? He showed up. He sent somebody.
Yeah.
Don't make it.
Yeah, that's real.
Well, I just wanted to kind of ask about that a little more, like because we've seen photo ops of y'all at Don Bacon events, at Republican events, and we had a just curious. We're just curious, like, what are your feelings about, and what is the relationship between the Republican Party, Don Bacon, like what is really what with that?
Say this. I don't have all of the answers. Okay. Mm-hmm. But one thing that we're learning to do, and we're going to call it exactly what it is. We're going to call it exactly what it is. All right. We're learning how to play whatever game it is to be played so that we can bring more resources back to our community.
There you go.
And played. And the majority of the games that I see being played are people, of course you have your oppressive circulation, but you who look like us, which in my opinion is a bigger enemy. Because you look like me and you're doing us wrong. You see what I'm saying? So as far as affiliation, I'm like this. I don't care whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or independent or whatever the case may be. If you're supporting efforts that are forward, okay? I heard somebody say, well, what if Don and them given to gang intervention? Oh, guess what? Yeah, I'm going to keep it a buck. I wouldn't give nothing either, because guess what? Ain't nothing worked. My community looked worse than it did 5 years ago. So you name gang intervention programs in the city that have worked, that's constantly getting money. Nothing's working. My community looks worse. It doesn't look better. You see what I'm saying? So as far as affiliation, I know with the streets and the whatever, we learning this whole political thing, whatever, you see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, come have a talk to me. Let's see what we can. I know you want something out of it, because guess what? I want something out of it too. But I want maybe different than what you want out of it. But it's worked for me. You see what I'm saying? Monkey Man Tree Care. Beautiful brother. Love us cleaning up the land. They showed up the most with all their in their white community who look like us. Some in the chat ain't showed up, ain't said nothing, ain't gave a penny, ain't gave a dollar, ain't said, you know what I mean? Know what we doing.
There you go.
So as far as affiliation, crack, and this and that and the third, man, how do I want to put it, man? Same, different wing, whatever the case, same agenda, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? I'm for people, man. I'm for people who look like me, first and foremost, because we the ones that have been discarded worse. Okay, the ones that's been discarded worse, but I don't turn down people who don't look like me if they want to help.
Yeah. That's the key. Malcolm X even got to that point where he was like, anybody who's trying to help the cause, man, that's what's up. And I gotta say, the way what I'm seeing is when you come from a place of, first of all, love for the people, second of all, black nationalism, we're gonna have our own situation in the first place.
Pride.
And second, and then thirdly, where you get your resources from. It doesn't matter where you get your resources from, because it matters where you gonna put them resources. And if somebody aligns with that and they want to help. Ain't no reason to turn nobody away from that wants to help and understand that we go. This is our motto too when you think about it. But me and Buddy has turned down money and
man, let me address
something already.
Off, bro.
No, go ahead.
Let me address it in the chat. I'm gonna read it.
Okay.
All right. Whoever that woman is, all right, you come see us. All right. I'm upset. I don't know who she's talking to. I'm upset. Money. I'm just tired. Hey, listen.
Show bacon.
No, whoever she's talking, I don't know who that woman is.
Yeah, that's Miss Erica. That's Miss Erica Fell. She's a chat chimer. She's a chat chimer with us.
Okay. Well. At the end of the day, okay. Well, Miss Erica Fell gonna look like me. So there was somebody who looked like me. Okay, but in regard to that, the conversation I had is, why do a black man like myself, okay, who's done all that I've done, Sherman, all that he's done, others, all that they've done, this burden in the situation in the community is not on my back. I'm not old enough. Okay, why am I put in a position in which I got to do that in the first place? That means somebody dropped the ball prior to me coming into existence.
Like Pac said, I ain't created.
Put myself in a position to where I have to accept anything from anybody except for people who look like me. I didn't do that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when we got like do both funerals for the Swifts, Tuesday and Friday as a protector, okay? But I'm gonna need therapy after, because I'm the trauma of experiencing that, watching kids stand over the coffin and cry. I'm in the field on every level, so I don't want to hear about why y'all take this or not. You can be upset all you want. All right, I don't give a damn. I mean, the way we get down, we don't. I mean, you know what, the game that everybody else is playing, we learn how to play.
Yeah.
Okay. Period.
Sure.
Right.
Let me just let you know that woman who is Miss Erica Fell, like I said, who's a chat chimer. I don't know. I think you might be getting the wrong impression. She's absolutely for us. Early in the chat, she said she's talking about, just because you guys do what you do, don't let that mean to the rest of us that you guys don't need money. You know, we can be helping support. She is a supporter and ally and got everybody's back in a big way. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew that. Like ain't nobody on here just talk. You know us. This is our show. Ain't nobody on here just talking junk. They on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
But I did want to acknowledge our brother Wells in the chat because I didn't
Peace.
see him come in. Yeah, peace, brother Wells. Thanks for coming in. He said I'm an independent and our relationship is in a building stage. The Democratic Party don't own the black community.
Agreed.
Uh, again, just because we have Precious on, remember what First Sky Omaha is, man. We don't succumb to either party either. We're not on here for party politics or any of those things. We bringing on black leaders, whatever party they on, and for the same reason. You know, if there's a way that we can help, cool. If there's a way we can align, cool. If not, cool, because we gonna be doing what we do. He also apologized for. He said he had a previous engagement. That's okay, bro. We have you on another time. He said.
But
Let me go ahead and finish, brother
go ahead.
Wells. Yeah, brother Wells is saying, and as fast as photo op, he said he said, and as fast as photo ops, laugh out loud. I purposely be in the picture with them folks, and also I have no fear and no one. So whatever I need to do to push our black agenda, I will. I gotta say, man, when I saw the photo op of the brother out there. I thought I started laughing because I was like, people are gonna be trying to act like he trying to affiliate himself with the Republican Party, and I was like, but we know brother Wells ain't affiliating up with no parties on that kind of level, bro. Like it don't matter who it is, if they are saying looking at us and seeing what kind of work we doing and thinking it's good work, they gonna help. That's what it is. That's just what it is. So I just laughed about it because I was like, brother Wells and them are the only ones that can stand up there and have a picture with Don Bacon and nobody think it's suspect. Nobody thinking, what are they doing? What are they over there doing with Don Bacon and them? Because we already know where you guys stand, and that's what's important. So I'm sorry to cut you off, buddy. Go ahead.
Well, two things. We see Brother Wells in the chat. I did want to say that I do personally want to get you on, Brother Wells, to talk about what's going on with the Levi Blake case in more detail. Because I do know you have more information. I was personally looking forward to you specifically, Brother Wells, coming on. But we'll have to set up some time for you to do that because I think that conversation needs to happen. And secondly, I think on the whole Don Bacon situation, I don't think it's skepticism towards, where Brother Sherman Wells or Brother Qasim stand. I think we all know they're staunch in their standpoint and they're not budging on where they are. I think the skepticism from that woman and others is going about Don Bacon. And from what I'm hearing from you, Brother Qasim, is that it don't matter what Don Bacon's agenda is. If it helps us, we're gonna do it. If it don't, we're not. And that's basically what I'm hearing. Is that correct?
Well, to an extent, because the other extent is if we talk about what his agenda may be, what's between his agenda and helping us and those who look like us who've had an agenda that have ran us into the dirt for years in this city. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm sorry, you breaking up
from my
you're breaking up a little bit, bro. Say it again.
I'm breaking up. Am I back? Am I in?
Yeah.
Am I here?
Yeah, you clear it now.
Yeah, just repeat the last thing you said for us.
Just from my understanding, I mean, they want to know how they can support. We're not idiots. We know how to decipher what good support look like and what good support don't. We black nationalists. Right. We already following the blueprint. You don't know? All right. Don't think that we don't understand that anytime, just like the gathering we had the other day. Okay. Yep. That you were at. Don't think we don't know that there's spies that were sent. Might not have been Bacon. Somebody else. Okay.
Right.
We don't think that we don't understand and that we don't know, but what we do know is that those that possess the power to do more in the city, especially for us, have not.
Yeah.
Haven't done it.
It really
we put in a peculiar situation. We put in a very strange situation and predicament. Okay, we've strapped up our boots, we've put in our work, we've done community sit in these rooms and say that they want to do, starting with buying land. We didn't done it. What more you want from us before y'all want to decide y'all really want to try to aid and assist facts? Because we're too black.
And that's where I want to go right there. Before we leave today, That's where I want to go. The rest of this, the rest of wherever this stuff comes from doesn't matter. The situation, the situation where you got to understand from the viewpoint of black nationalists. First of all, we gonna do it on our own. That's the whole point in the first place. We gonna learn how to play the game. We're gonna be able to do things. But if you understand where everybody's coming from in the first place, then you don't have to worry about these brothers getting tainted by any kind of outside influence over some money or over some whatever. That's the difference between BAA, Untamed, and these other organizations like this. That's the difference. The difference is that it's not about the money, and the money part is a tool to use to do the work. And so where I want to go with this is that point. Let's remember that what really needs to be happening is the black folks need to be funding this black organization. When we first started First Sky Omaha, that's what we were hoping that would happen as well. That's why we started the membership program, because we wanted to be funded and helped. We wanted the people to help us do what we're trying to do. And that's the same thing here. So what I want to keep pushing is for us. Look, man, this is an opportunity for us to put our money where our mouth is. Put the dollars into an organization you know is doing the work and is doing it for the love, and is not doing it so that they can gain some kind of position out here, and so on and so forth. So like that, when we leave this situation, I want everybody to know that when we talk about we're in season 6, this is boots to the roots. Put your money where your mouth is. You can't be out there doing stuff with them. Then send them some funds, because what the thing that needs to happen is they need to be funded by our community, so that we ain't got to go play the game and go do the other stuff. They already have been successful doing that. They already put their own money where their mouth is. We've watched them, and that's the beauty of their organization compared to others that are playing the nonprofit game and all of that. There's only a few organizations out here that are like that. Let's support them. But you got you have anything else you want? I want to go ahead and make sure that we can get all the thoughts in before we let the brother go, and then get the final word from Brother Qasim. What are you thinking, buddy?
I'm thinking a lot, but to keep it kind of short, just agreeing with you. Like the BAA is definitely everything we're talking about. Specifically from a North Omaha, Asiatic black perspective. This the BAA. It is the BAA. You want to talk about race pride and community and having cultural epicenters? Black. You want to talk about organizing? Agenda. They have an agenda. Alliance. They are aligning together. Like everything about the BAA makes sense as far as what we're trying to do, and we see that there's real effort. Like y'all see it in us, we see it in them. It's obvious when people are really committed and really trying to do the work that they say they're trying to do. Let's support it, or if we don't, then you really can't complain.
Yeah, for sure. Also, just want to break up. Pops in the chat says make sure that we acknowledge what Miss Erica Felt is saying too. And she basically, I'm trying to find her comments, but she's saying you're yelling, saying exactly what I said. So you guys are on. I'm saying you guys are on the same page. There might have been a little miscommunication because we reading it from a chat, bro. So sometimes we're not getting it all the way. But I can guarantee you, we know her the same way we know y'all. We on the same page. She's on the same page. She's a strong ally.
Man, if she good, she good. And maybe I misread it. Y'all got me reading the chat chimers. I do want to make something clear. You got a brother said, "Hey, look to for mentorship." All right, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Okay.
Marcus Garvey.
Race pride. Man, Islam, bro.
Straight up. You know what I mean? Those are our mentors.
There you go. Paul Philman in the chat said BAA form an alliance with the Sudanese community.
Working on that right now. As we
come on, man. Shout out to Riel.
The sister y'all need to have come on, both her and Trent Tucker, because that's the voice from the streets for real. But me and Sister Riel and a couple others, we got some stuff shaking right now.
That's what's up. I was happy to hear that and see that there too. That was another highlight of mine there, man. That was what was up. That was what was up for real. Matter of fact, if I remember correctly, Sister Riel was at one of the content creators camps as well. Yeah. Yeah, it came through. So that's what's up, man. I really, you know, we seeing who's doing the thing. Who we see who's standing out. I love that. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you talking about that. I appreciate you coming on and taking a look. Normally we say, hey guests, don't look at the chat because you get caught up in it. And we'll read
Man.
it.
Man, I'm done with it. I'm done, man. I promise you, I'm done.
It's all good though.
One more thing on her, real quick. Her
Yes, sir.
son also has 100% attendance in the Urban Survival Club.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's
Her
son?
son
Who's son?
is part of the Urban Survival Club
She talking about Sister Rihanna.
and the football program. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, she's a dope artist too. She's a dope artist. I've recorded a couple tracks with her, man. So yeah, we
Man,
definitely had to bring her on. I'm sure you've seen her in the community and maybe not even realize it was her.
Right. Okay. Got you.
Yeah. Shout out to Sister Rhea, man. She's dope.
One more thing. Sherman Wells says Untamed has nothing else to prove. What we need is financial support, and unfortunately, I don't think we will get it here. I believe the only way is going to be to leave Omaha and become appreciated in other states, other cities, then come back here with our money. I can't argue with you, bro. I've seen this dynamic too many times as well. You don't get love from home. You got to go outside, come back. You got to do a bunch of stuff. But we're here, and we gonna keep on pushing what we're pushing, which is to make sure that the right organizations get funded. You know us, man. We play the game too. We play the nonprofit game. We get some nonprofit dollars. We absolutely gonna make sure that some of that gets funneled to y'all, and we encourage everybody else, every other organization, to do the same because what we're really out here to do is to uplift and upbuild the Black community and actually help the youth, actually speak to them directly. And create some kind of future for Black Omaha. So we're with you, and we appreciate all your efforts, bro. And you know, we'll keep on connecting as much as we can.
Yep.
Appreciate it,
bro. You have a good day, man. I appreciate you staying on a little later with us and everything else. And we'll holler at you real soon.
All right, man. Peace. Appreciate you.
Man, peace, love.
Peace.
There you go, man. If you guys missed that Saturday event, heavy,
man. Tearjerker, huh?
Oh man, for real, man. Just them young folks standing up like that, man, was really something else.
It's like,
I go ahead.
Y'all witness real change in that moment.
In real time change right there, bro. Just the act of that brother standing up, sticking up for his moms, and then saying, I think it's time I need a little help. You know what I'm saying? He said it with some pride. He was a young man, bro. You know what I'm saying? He was hard. You could tell it was hard. He took a little minute. It was hard for him to choke up and say that. You know what I'm saying? So, and then the response, bro, they applauded that. They stood up and applauded that brother 3 times for saying what he said. And you can see, like you said, brother Qasim, man, he jumped on it, man. He got with the brother the next day. So we seeing real time work happening, real work. That felt like hope. If none of these people wanted to come and be a part of this thing, they should at least just come for the hope. You feeling, you hearing all these stories, man. Kids out here shooting each other, stuff going on like that, and you start to feel real hopeless until you get in the room with them actual young folks that are saying, "Yeah, give us something else to do, please." And then they are.
Right. Yeah. You can't expect them to just start doing something new, especially when they ain't seen it. Especially when they ain't had it. I mean, everything everybody's saying in the chat, I'm thinking about my own life. You know, it wouldn't have been if it weren't for Boys and Girls Club, Boy Scouts, the Y, Upward Bound, just putting myself in looking for those opportunities. If it ain't there's other things that's gonna get offered, and it's not gonna be for your benefit.
Right. Sherman Wells and Chesses, and I've known him his whole life, talking about that young man, and never heard him talk like that ever. It felt like when people in church saying they ready to get baptized. Woo. Man. Like it. Yeah, bro. It was powerful, bro. It was powerful. This is my thing. I gotta try to do for next year. I talked to brother Qasim afterwards and was like, what we're trying to do with First Sky is to create a situation where these young folks can come to us and learn some media. So all young folks ain't about sports. Some of them or about some other kinds of things and some arts and some this and some that, we can get them on them cameras. We can get them in them. You know what I'm saying? Like if we can put that thing together in order for some of them young folks to come to us and learn media, then we're closer to fulfilling our purpose. There's got to be us, and there's got to be people in other industries doing the same, really showing what's up. I'm glad the carpentry's happening.
Man,
All that stuff, like, hey, it ain't just sometimes, you know how it is. You grew up with people all around you. There's some kids were more physical, were more sports oriented, was love building engineer minds and stuff like that. And then you got artist minds as well. You got people who was better off with the camera in their hand or whatever the deal. People find an out with a whole bunch of different outlets. All you gotta do is show them something. And you know me personally, I always said if I ever started a nonprofit, all I want to do is get young black boys out of town to go see how something is done in other spaces.
Talk about that all the time.
You got to see it. You got to see it. So what these brothers are doing right here is creating things to be seen right here in town that they haven't even seen yet, which is amazing.
Putting it in their face.
But like Sherman Wells said, what we need to do is raise funds for that. Sometimes you got to go outside. Sometimes you got to play the game. Sometimes you got to do whatever, man, so that you can raise the funds. The funds is what makes this thing happen. So it's got to be that type of situation. I don't know if they have a membership situation over there. If they don't, maybe we can help. We can figure something out. But, and just keep on trying to encourage donations and everything over there. Trust me, bro. It's going straight to the babies. Ain't nobody trying to get rich off of this stuff that we doing, that any of us are doing right here.
Man, I mean, because if that was the case, there's plenty other easier ways to get rich. Like there's a lot of easier ways to get rich than what they're doing.
Look, bro, like I said, when I told you I dived into the nonprofit game, I learned how the nonprofit game worked. I learned how to win. I could have put a nonprofit organization together 5 years ago and just been floating on, just been getting a check.
Man, just collecting.
Okay, that's not what we're here to do. We want to use that as a tool. It's a tool, but there's a lot of strings that come with that kind of life that I'm not willing to get down with. So in the same here, man.
Just to put it clear, man, we've learned that to the nonprofit game there is a barrier. There's a bare minimum. There is a bare minimum that you have to do to get these checks. A lot of people, I'm not gonna call any names. I'll let y'all figure out who's who and what's what. But the problem with the nonprofit game is most are finding what that bare minimum is, doing that, collecting the check, and that's it. And maybe I'm preaching to the choir, but it's a lot of more work to be done.
Yeah, man. And we're gonna work on that, man. We got a lot to work on. I'm seeing Tony Johnson talking about chiming in on the Facebook group. Miss Erica Fell says she just got kicked off and YouTube gave it. We trying to tighten some things up for 2024. So we going after some funds, and we trying to build some things up, and we're gonna do some merch pretty soon here, have some sales and all the stuff that we got to do to raise our funds too in order to get this thing to the next level. We really want to make it so that we can all continue to have these conversations. This is where it all begins and ends for us. Thanks. So not ends, it just begins here because it moves into Boost to the Roots and some action here. So I appreciate y'all. I'm sorry that we having some technical difficulties here. I appreciate everybody's comment. I'm sorry that I didn't get to all the comments.
Man, it's a lot
because there were so many. Yeah. But I appreciate that. And looks like Sherman Wells got some appreciation for us. He said, "I love and appreciate y'all brothers and the chat chimers. Keep being great and giving the people the information and real community news." Thanks. Bro, we ain't trying to do nothing but expand this, bro. For real, we're gonna expand it. That's what we're working on. So that's what's up. Appreciate all of y'all. Let's go ahead and get out of here, man. It's already in 9:28. If you believe in the concept of time.
Oof.
You guys kept asking us to do 3 hours. Here we had 2.5. We might be creeping up on this. So I don't know. About this, but but I think it was important to bring Brother Qasim on because the most important meeting in Omaha happened Saturday, bro. That was Beeee and Untamed putting it down. The most important meeting in Omaha happened on Saturday, right there in North O.
There you go.
The most important meeting happened on Saturday, and I'm talking about the most important meeting because the whole city scared of the fear of the one, the Nico Jenkins effect.
Man, the whole state
is building more prisons and more youth facilities and all kinds of stuff because they're scared of the exact kids that was sitting in that room. Come hear from them. Talk to them.
What they need. Boots
The
to the
most,
roots.
the most important meeting that happened in Omaha, in Nebraska, what happened at that meeting in North Omaha with the BAA and Untamed. Period. Point blank. Period. If you wasn't a part of that, then you need to figure out what your organization is doing. You need to figure out what you as an individual is doing. And I'm not saying if you didn't make it, I understand things get in the way. I don't be making all the meetings and stuff either. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you don't understand the importance of that meeting and help, and it doesn't inspire some support some kind of way, you need to look at your life. If you think you're doing anything for Omaha, Nebraska, and you weren't a part of that meeting in some kind of way, you need to look at your life. You need to look at what you're really out here trying to do for the people, for the kids, for your state, for your
For
city,
yourself.
for yourself, for your kids that's going to school with these kids, for everybody. There wasn't another meeting that was more important than that.
Man, you scared of your Kia getting broken into and stolen? And what you doing to make sure that they ain't got to steal them?
Why don't you come to the meeting and talk to the Kia boys? They probably there. Tony Johnson said, even if your group not make it, issue response on how you would support. There you go. Hopefully, other Omaha Black media will talk about that event.
Bill King was there.
Bill King was there. Boss was representing. And this is what I want to get into. This I meant to say this earlier. What I like to get into in 2024 is making sure that we the Black media, can cover those meetings. You guys needed to witness that on video. I wish that we had a rig there. I wish that I had it set up to we can. Matter of fact, I'll take that back. There was a organization. There was a company there that was filming some of it, and it was I can't remember the brother's name, but he performed a song, and him and his partner were there with a camera. So there is a little bit of footage there. We'll see if we can talk to them about seeing some of that. But yeah, we gotta that should have been live streamed. That should have been at least covered. It should have been covered as the most important news event. Frazier, thank you. I appreciate that.
Frazier Films? Okay. Yeah, I know about them.
Yeah, so they got some footage. But that thing should have been covered like how Channel 7 would have covered a press conference with Gene Stothard. That's how that meeting should have been covered. And we trying to get to that. If y'all want to know what First Sky Omaha is doing, that's what we're trying to get to. So that said, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, man. But you got some words for the people?
Man, anybody who's listening to this platform, anybody who is earshot of my voice, man, we truly love and appreciate y'all, man. Like, and I'm putting emphasis on the word love, because none of this is gonna get done without love first for yourself and love for your community. If y'all don't love each other, then none of this is gonna work. So again, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We thank y'all. Catch the same time, same place, because we're gonna do this. This is what we do, man. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. So in the meantime, in between time, man, y'all take care of each other, take care of yourselves. See how you can show up in your immediate area. Be present. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Without further ado, Paul B. Take it away.
Man, Miss Erica Feld says, great guest today. Miss Erica Feld, I appreciate your comments and your chiming up. And apologize if you felt like somebody was misunderstanding you. We know where you stand for. We know what you about. And how you've been boost to the roost, put your money where your mouth is too, and we appreciate you. So really, I'll stand up for everybody who's a Chad Chimer, that has been a regular Chad Chimer in the same way. We're all here for communication. If there's a misunderstanding, we always going to try to solve the misunderstanding. So I hope you ain't feeling some kind of way. We appreciate you today for real. Pop said, "Great Men's Monday. Thank you, and see you Wednesday, man." Men stood up today. I appreciate that very much. Also, Chimer Snipe says, I learned a lot today. That's what's up. Appreciate you. Miss Erica says, I appreciate you speaking when I couldn't. Yeah, it was one of them things. If we were in the same room when we were speaking, audibly face to face, then I think there would have been a little bit better of a situation. But I even had a hard time keeping up reading all the chats, going through it today. So that's what it was. I want to end with what Stephen Abrahams is saying. He says we have to be united on all levels. Developing a comprehensive plan system takes understanding different positions and responsibilities. We got to remember how they got us as a unit. When then we take that knowledge, got us as a unit. Then we take that knowledge and rebuild us. Okay, he says the reason why we see the mayhem in our community is because we are lost, meaning not standing up for each other, And when we do, we still got those that have trust issues. It causes a break in our cultural shield. Yes, rebuilding those processes I mentioned above is simple, but very strong in our recovery from PTSD, from PTSD from slavery. Man,
A lot of
so
trauma.
real.
A lot of trauma we got to unpack, but we got to do it together.
Yeah. We're going to go ahead and get out of here, y'all. So please, if you miss any parts of this show, I'll go back and watch it in its entirety on Facebook and YouTube, and check out the chat. Definitely check out some of the steps that Brother Stephen Abraham laid out a little earlier on there. Very good information as well. And thank you for everybody who joined in and brought the information that you did, and the comments and the questions. It was a very, very, very deep Monday show. So really appreciate this very much. And thanks for holding on with us past the time that we usually leave as well. And we really appreciate you very much. So thank you. And yes, Miss Easter, I think we were trying to straighten out the miscommunication there with you as well. So we'll figure that out, and we'll have a discussion about it. I think that everything is cool. I just think that we were kind of misreading some things that it was coming along. Yeah. But Brother Qasim it's all good. We always try to advise the guests, don't read the chat. We'll read the chat for you, because it gets overwhelming for sure. So I think everything is cool, and we'll make sure that it is. Anyway,
I would say just real quickly, don't take anything personal, and don't attribute a personal attack which you can attribute to just passion.
Yeah, that's absolutely. Right on. We're going to get out of here, though. Thanks to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Thanks to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. And thanks to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. I want to thank our special guest, Senator Terrell McKinney, Senator Terrell McKinney, Senator Justin Wayne, also Brother Qasim Shabazz, and also Brother Sherman Wells. He didn't get to come on, but he was there to comment. And I can't wait to have him on again to talk about more stuff that Untamed is doing. They're always busy with some things as well. Hear his perspective on the meeting. So we'll get you on sometime in the next week or so, bro, and definitely talk some more about it. So thanks for coming in on the chat, though. We really appreciate that. And we're going to go ahead. And also one more appreciation for those of you that are putting your money where your mouth is. We appreciate you, the chat channels and ghost listeners that are reoccurring members and sponsors of the channel. If you have not done that, then please go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the donate button, and become a reoccurring member or sponsor of the show, so we can build this up and keep it going and keep the conversation happening and get to the next level this next year. So that's what we're working on. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. We will see you Wednesday. Special guest to be announced, but we'll talk about that and see you soon. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the red